See real well. Let me fix that. Let me fix that. Let me see what I can do. Get y'all up a little bit. All right. See how that looks. Well, dang, y'all can't see what's on the table, damn it. All right, we're trying something a little different today. I know this is going to be a little awkward and a little unusual. Bear with me. If it's not fun, we will quit doing it. See if I can, maybe I just need to move y'all further back. All right, so I'm filming videos today, and I thought instead of just filming videos by myself, I would hang out with y'all and see if we could just have a good time, relax a little bit, and film some videos. This, I'm having to use my iPad, and in landscape mode, it's a bit of a mess. Are we still live? Looks like we're still live. So hopefully that's good enough, right? Y'all can see me now. Let me pull it up over here on my laptop so I can actually see the chat. Because way back there, I cannot see it. Y'all are way too far away from me. I am too old for that nonsense. My channel, go to the chat, pop this chat out. There y'all are right there. All right. So what we're doing again is I'm filming videos. So I thought I might give y'all a little bit of behind the scenes as to what goes into these particular types of videos. Hopefully y'all enjoy that. What's going on, country boy? How do I zoom in on this over here? Zoom in right there. All right. What's going on, everybody? Again, this is just kind of an informal, impromptu live stream, and I'm going to be talking to the cameras and doing different stuff, but we are going to have a little fun. I do have a tasting notes video that we are going to do first, if I could find my blender. I've been using this little guy right here. So if y'all are watching this in the middle of the afternoon, what the heck are y'all doing? Are y'all not at work? Do y'all not have stuff to do with your day? Like y'all can just hang out with me drinking whiskey? Country boy probably on a tractor right now, knowing him. I'm trying to plug this guy in, but it is really dark under my bar here. I'm gonna have to have a light. There we go. So we're going to do a tasting notes. Now these take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. I got to get set up here, film the intro first. So with this intro, we try to stage the ingredients and make it interesting for folks that are, you know, hooked. We got to get a hook. So when we're doing content, the hook is important, because if we don't capture their attention right off the bat, then nobody's going to watch it. So the hook is incredibly important. Hopefully I've got all my ingredients down here. I was a little worried about the ingredients. It's raining. Oh, done for the day just in time, Seth. Welcome. Law school's out for the day in North Carolina. Great. Well, y'all can ask me what I do. Apparently, I create content. So, luckily, I'm self-employed, so I can I just got finished filming a couple of videos for work, and now we're going to film these. So, got my microphone. I got to hook it up to the audio over here. So I record the audio separately. In here, we just I literally tore out a wall over here this weekend to expand my bar area a little bit. So, on the other side of where I tore out are some air conditioners and stuff, so it's kind of loud. And we've got, you know, kind of this atrium over here, so we get an echo. So we record on these lavalier mics instead of using, I'd much rather use a shotgun, so I don't have to worry about, I could just mount it up there or something. But for this, we gotta have a lavalier. All right, so we're doing a Pappy 23 tasting note. It's bourbon night, did a review. Their review is incredibly long. It's like 17, 18 minutes. I don't know if I could get somebody to watch 17 or 18 minutes worth of video, but you know, let's we try to stretch these. So these are a little longer. Again, we have the longer ones. We're trying to stretch to 6 or 7 or 8 minutes. I don't know, what I'm going to talk about for that amount of time, but we're definitely going to film the actual review. I'm going to come back and do some intro stuff later. Tractor's still getting fixed. That's no good, man. Hate it when you break a tractor. I always have crappy tractors, so mine are always broken. When I had them, we had a few acres out in the country, so I had a little Yanmar. This is always broke. Cheap, but it's not cheap if it's not working. All right, so I'm gonna go turn these cameras on and let's get started recording. Again, I will be kind of in and out, paying attention to the chat as we are recording things. Get my Pappy 15 out. All right, get these cameras on. In focus, not quite level. And for y'all kind of see, we've got a couple of, I've got a camera there on a slider, which we're not using, and then this guy back here. All right, so my editor, I have an editor that does most of the editing for us. He's not gonna love this just because it's gonna be a lot more footage because I'm talking to y'all a bunch. And it looks like that camera there is almost out of battery. So when it shuts down, I'm gonna have to swap the battery out. All right, let's get this rolling. The 23-year-old version of my Pappy's, the 23-year-old version of this bottle right here sells. See, I was talking. Is my audio running? The 23-year-old version of this bottle sells for over $5,000 on some of those online secondary sites. Now, I don't know who's buying it because I don't have that kind of money in my bourbon budget. So if I want to know what it tastes like, I'm going to have to blend up this crap in YouTubers' tasting notes and give it a try. All right, I'm about to mute y'all. I can hear you a little bit over here. Might show up in my audio. All right, so I can't really see. I need to flip those around so I can see the cameras. My cameras are not optimal at this point. All right, I think we're good now. I think we're good. One more time on the intro. I'm gonna go here and then I'm gonna cut down here for the tasting notes. The 23-year-old version of this Pappy Van Winkle. The 23-year-old version of this Pappy Van Winkle goes for over $5,000 on some of those crazy secondary sites. Now, I don't know who's paying that for it because I don't have that in my bourbon budget. If I want to try this bottle and see what it tastes like, then I'm going to have to blend up these tasting notes from some YouTuber and give it a try. All right, so that's my intro right there. What y'all think about that? Y'all like that intro? Y'all think that one's going to hook folks? Appreciate it, Jacob. Appreciate it. 17-year-old tractor. Nice. All right, so we've got the intro. Now we're going to talk about the bourbon just a little bit here, and then we will move along to actually blending all of this crap up. Now this is the 15-year-old version of Pappy. Oh, excuse me, I got to do my intro. I didn't do the intro. Let's have this down. My name is TJ Gamble and this is Brewzle, which is just an elaborate attempt to make my bourbon selection a tax deduction. If you don't take your whiskey too seriously and you're into having a good time, then consider hanging out and subscribing. Give the video a like, I'd appreciate it, and let's get right into it. All right, one more time. So you got to do them at least twice because you never can tell when you flubbed it. Sometimes you think you got it right, you still flubbed it. course, I'm sweating. I ain't even turned the air on. It's hot down here. My name is TJ Gamble, and this is Brewzle, which is just an elaborate attempt to make my bourbon selection a tax deduction. If you don't take your whiskey too seriously and you're having, see? My name is TJ Gamble, and this is Brewzle, which is just an elaborate attempt to make my bourbon selection a tax deduction. If you don't take things too seriously and you end up having a good time, then consider subscribing, giving the video a like, and helping me with my tax goals. Let's get right into it. Now, this is the 15-year-old version of Pappy Van Winkle, and I've never had the 23. I've tried several of the other ones, but this is one really hard bottle to get, and the 23-year-old is even more difficult. Now, Pappy Van Winkle was introduced back in the early 90s, and it's just soared in popularity. It scored a 99 in the 1998 World, what was the thing it scored? In the whiskey, gotta look at my notes, Whiskey Society Awards. What was it? I don't see my freaking notes here, people. Keep your notes handy. Okay, 1998 World Spirits Championships. Its popularity really began when it scored an unheard of 99 at the 1998 World Spirits Championships. And it's gotten some media coverage. Anthony Bourdain mentioned it in one of his shows. And pretty much since the Facebook secondary market has taken off, these guys are just through the roof. Go through that one more time. Its popularity took off after it won a 99 at the 1998 World Spirits Championships. And it's just continued to soar from there. Since the Facebook secondary market, I don't know how I'm going to put that. See, we should script these, and I need a teleprompter. I'd just roll through it if it was scripted with a teleprompter, but it's not. So sometimes I got to figure out how I want to say something, because I haven't really thought this through. We haven't had a ton of time to prepare these. We just sit down and go at it. Got some fruit flies in here or something. I think I had some fruit in the trash can. And this guy started to get some media coverage from Anthony Bourdain and some other places. And then the Facebook secondary market has just put this bottle in unreachable category for most of us folks that don't collect and drink our bourbon. So if I want to give this a try, let's blend up. So let's look at, what's their name? It's a Bourbon Night. It's Bourbon Night. So y'all think I'm all polished and I know what I'm doing, right? And instead, I'm just winging it. The magic is in the edit. It's Bourbon Night. It's Bourbon Night posted an interesting review of the 23. It's Bourbon Night posted an interesting review of Pappy 23. So let's try their tasting notes and see what it's like. Got a little condensation. I just washed it out, but now Pappy's is a wheated bourbon. Pappy's is a wheated bourbon, same mash bill, same distillery. Pappy's is a wheated bourbon, same mash bill, same distillery as our Weller product. So we're going to start with a Weller Special Reserve base. And at this point, folks, we're just going to watch the video, and then we're going to react to whatever their tasting notes are.
Full Trace is where it's made nowadays. It's the wheated mash bill, the same mash bill that's shared with the Weller line, which is why that has become so popular. Truly on Pappy economics. Did you get poor man's Pappy? Of course, people are crazy about the Weller BTAC line. Yeah, we are. It's amazing. One of those.
Yeah, you have a chance to get one of those, but not one of these. Go get that.
We got WW and Pappy.
It's been a really great year. I got a lot of things I wanted this year.
But yeah, it's definitely a nose. Oh, okay. It's definitely a nose that you don't come across every day. These things normally aren't presented at this stage.
No.
Sometimes you get it blended into a special edition. But,
right. No, this
spice. Now, last time we used clove, we got a little carried away and it almost killed us. So let's be a little more careful with the clove here. Tobacco. And this cigar is a Kentucky fire-cured cigar. All right, so barrel char. What we're going to do is we're going to take my little cocktail smoker here. We're going to throw some oak in the cocktail smoker. And we are going to char it. And then we're going to use that charred oak in our concoction. See if it puts out the fire, and then, oops. We don't need the thimble in there. All right. All right, caramel and vanilla. So we've got some caramel syrup here. We should have opened these before we start these videos, because I suck at opening things. Caramel syrup. A hint of vanilla. Might be more than a hint there.
Well, you know, you could spend $200 on a pour at a bar and be extremely disappointed if you're not into oaky things.
Yeah,
So.
totally. And it kind of has a cigar type of presence to it.
That's a really good way to put it.
You just popped the cigar. You just popped one of these things.
That's why I put it on there.
And that remnants is in your mouth. You have the smokiness, you have the char, you have that tobacco flavor. I mean, it's totally in a cigar.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, for people who don't really smoke cigars, someone who smokes cigar might be like, well, really, I think this. But that's our opinion. The mouthfeel is really good. It's extra silky.
It is. It's got also some different type of citrus I've tasted before on the palate. But just first rolling over your tongue, it's like this.
You can get like a really young lemon. What would that taste like?
Yeah, like a lemon, hybrid orange.
We know if it's like underripe.
All right, lemon hybrid orange. I have a cutting board up here, so let's cut it in the. Might be a little too much citrus.
So, a youthful fruit.
A youthful fruit.
There's something nice and sweet and desserty in the middle. The oak almost gives way to it just for a moment and then comes back for the finish. But then when it comes back for the finish, there's more of those caramel vanillas.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it's all oak. I feel like it's just straight up oak. And that youthful fruit. I don't know what
Sure.
that is.
I'm getting the barrel more in the middle of the experience. Yeah, in the very beginning, I feel like I'm biting into a fruit that I've never tasted before. Like I'm on some tropical island where only that fruit grows, and I'm like, I call this chadberries or whatever. I don't know what I would call it. Probably would call that. But
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with chadberries, but I think that is our tasting notes. Let's blend this sucker up and let's give it a try. does not look pleasant. So we're going to try this with a little bit of this Pappy 15 here. Too much citrus. All right, as always, let's start with our concoction here. Definitely citrus. That's all, orange and lemon. Oh, that's bitter. We need to take the orange peel off next time. Bitter, citrusy. There's absolutely nothing redeeming about that whatsoever. So there's absolutely nothing redeeming about that whatsoever. I've got to find some water. Need water. Oh, God. I don't even want to drink the Pappies after that. Like, that's how ruined my taste buds are right now. Oh. Oh. All right, so let's see how wrong we were. I mean, this is 15, not 23, but close as I can get. Yeah, we messed that one up bad. I'm not putting that one on bourbon night. That's my fault. I messed that one up bad. So, let me know in the comments if you like these dumb things. Don't take things too serious. If you like these dumb things and you understand that there's absolutely no educational value in them whatsoever, consider subscribing. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. There we go. Let me hit stop on that, and then we can talk for a minute while I set up the next video. Whew. Cut these cameras off so we don't use all the battery. One of them's about dead. I'm gonna have to pop the battery out. Oh, guys, that is disgusting. That may be the worst one yet. I'm gonna be honest with you. That may be the worst one yet. Oh, what have we got here? I'm gonna try to catch up in the chat. I got y'all over here on this laptop. Let me bring y'all right here so y'all can see my beautiful face while I talk to you. Oh, let's see. What's going on? What's going on? Rob D's in the chat. What's going on? Daniel. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Again, this is not terribly, I know it's not the most entertaining or best stream in the entire world, not the most engaging stream, but, you know, if y'all like these kinds of things, we'll keep doing them. Bunch of conversations going on there. What's the proof on the Pappy 15? The 15 is actually going to be higher proof, I think. It's 107, I believe, right? Yeah, 107 on the Pappy 15. The 23 is going to be like 90-something proof. It's going to be closer to the Weller, I think, but still a little higher proof than the Weller. Oh, that was a waste of Weller. Lord have mercy. That's what everybody's going to say. Everybody's going to give me a hard time saying, oh my God, I can't believe you wasted Weller Special Reserve on this. Watch. Y'all look for those comments. What are we going to get? This is what we get. This is of no educational value whatsoever. I'm never watching another one of your videos. I get that occasionally. I get the, oh my God, I can't believe you didn't strain it, or what are you, like, why would you do this? I get a lot of folks thinking I'm hating on the person whose tasting notes we're trying. So I got, especially with the last one, which was the Whiskey Tribe. Man, their folks are like, oh my God. They're like, oh, you'll never be a tenth of what Whiskey Tribe is. And I'm like, dude, I already like twice as big as them combined. Like, Are we talking physically? Or are we talking on YouTube? Like, you got to give me some qualifications here. On YouTube, I'm not as big. In person, twice as big as both of them. So, I feel like I won that argument. I don't know. It's hard arguing with the trolls, though, right? Start with OWA, the mash bill. Yeah, but I'm running low on OWA, and so I didn't want to use it because that's my favorite. I want to drink it. For science, I probably should have. You're right, but we started with Weller. You know, so if you're talking about mash bill, this mash bill is the same as OWA. This is just a lesser version, but it probably would have been a closer comparison. But the Pappy 23 is lower in proof. I want to say somebody look it up, I think it's 90 something proof. And it was very chunky, Whiskey Central. Very, very chunky and not delicious. Oh, who wants a handshake? No. Yeah, this was worse than the oak chip. So the worst ones, it's funny, the two that are worst both had cloves. This one, I just threw the slice of the fruit in there with the peels, and the peels were absolutely terrible. Like that, I think that's what made it so bad, were the lemon and orange peels. Like it just, doesn't turn into a liquid at all. And so you just get like, it's almost like some sort of chunky salsa when you drink it. Thank you, Addie. We've got, I think we're over 2 million views on YouTube now, which is just nuts. Like, that is just insane. Y'all have no idea. I've been doing YouTube for like 5 years, and I think I've gotten like, 500,000 views on my other channel. Now, it's not content anybody really wants to watch, so I get that. But it's just weird that, you come over here and you talk about more fun stuff. This is a lot more fun to do, and people respond to that. So that's awesome, but thank you. Don't know if anybody want that handshake, yeah. I've never seen any of the Pappies in the wild, at least not at MSRP. You'll find them at some museums or something that, have them up on the shelf. What's my opinion on Eagle Rare 10? Love it. Matter of fact, I need something to get this taste out of my mouth. Let's grab some Eagle Rare. So I've got a video I want to do where we're going to take a bottle and try to improve it. And so I've been thinking about using Eagle Rare, and we're going to try to do some experiments, but I don't know. I'm debating using a bottle that I can get on the regular. So something that's not bad, but can we make it even better? So I don't want to take a bad bottle and make it better. I want to take a pretty good bottle and make it better. So what bottle should I try? If y'all got one in particular that's pretty good, but can we improve it? So I'm thinking like maybe a Wild Turkey 101 or something like that as a base to try some experiments. So I've got some aging chips, and I bought a barrel, and we're going to try, I've got an air still, and we're going to try all sorts of crazy stuff. I like that Eagle Rare. It's, if you're into bourbon, I don't know anybody that's really into bourbon that thinks that's not delicious. There may be somebody. But it can be a little bitter. It's got like a little bit of a bitterness to it if you're not super into bourbon. But I love that flavor profile. Eagle Rare 10, work on one screen, YouTube on another. Hey, that makes sense, John. I don't know if you're behind. Catch up. Four Roses small batch. That could be interesting. That could be interesting, actually. That actually could. I like that idea, actually. I hadn't thought about just normal old Four Roses. Four Rivers single barrel. Interesting. Maker's Mark. Actually, Maker's Mark could be, because some of their wood finishing stuff, some of the things they try are actually delicious. And so that could be really, really good. Steelhouse Black. I'll do that. I'll keep an eye out for it. All right, so what's the next video? I need to get these shot, and then we can hang out. I've got to shoot the Old Fashions from 1944. Now, I'm going to have to change the battery in the camera here. Let me grab that and change that battery. I'm going to go grab the battery. I'll be back. Just take me 1 minute to go grab the battery. I'll be right back. Keep them entertained. Somebody keep them entertained in the chat. Anybody sing, dance? so I forgot to set up my lights for that last video. That sucks a little bit. So as y'all can probably see, below here, there are no lights. And I had this wood rail built. There's a wood rail that runs under these bottles, but it just got installed last week and I haven't run the lights yet. So I've been taking these guys and putting them to add a little light down there, and I forgot to do that because I was late for our live stream. Where's my hue, saturation, intensity? Right there. So I'll like take those and throw it right there for a little light back there. And I throw this guy over here. It just adds a little light down low, which looks a lot better on that. Like you kind of see it, but on that right there, it looks great. I need to block it a little bit. I don't want it like casting orange light on me so much. So I just put a bottle or something there. All right, so gotta swap this camera battery. Let me grab the camera. This camera's not super easy to get to. Here, I'll turn y'all over here. So this camera here, it's on this whole slider rig here, and you have to unscrew it. You have to take the focus ring off. This is the slider in the camera we use to film all of our B-roll. It's really dusty because I was doing drywall work over there where I'm tearing out that wall. And so everything in here is really dusty. I had to clean the bar yesterday to be able to film. So then I unscrew it, pop a new battery in, and then you gotta get it back aligned on the screw hole. Never can get it in the screw hole. It's not my forte. All right, let's see if we got full battery on that one. Yes. Need to check my focus. Because the worst thing, like what sucks is when you film these, and I've done it, where you film all these and then it's out of focus. And so all of the filming you did was for nothing. All right, y'all got a decent view there. Okay, let's hit record. Let's hit record on this guy back here. All righty, we are back to recording. Whoa, y'all went to sleep over here. All right, let's see, what are we recording now? We are doing the old fashioned from 1944. So I'm gonna need these. I'm going to need this knife. Don't need camera batteries. Fresh Glencairn. Actually, I don't need a Glencairn at all. I'm doing an old fashioned. What glass are we gonna put it in? Where's my old fashioned glass back here? That's not the one I want. I don't see any of my non-decorative glasses, so we're gonna go with this guy. All right, I gotta grab the book. This old fashioned is fun. I don't know where all my stuff's at for it though. It's here. Like where did I had sugar cubes, and now my sugar cubes are missing. Do y'all just hate it when you lose stuff? Do y'all lose stuff? Is that just me? Do y'all just randomly lose things? Literally my sugar cubes were down here, I thought yesterday. Might not be able to film this video. Matter of fact, I definitely need to turn the cameras off so we're not just rolling with no footage whatsoever. Now I had those sugar cubes and I was like, I'm gonna put those up where I don't lose them. Where I know I've got sugar cubes when I need them, but they're hidden and out of the way. So they don't get wet or damaged or damp or anything like that. I've just got sugar cubes, and now the sugar cubes are freaking gone. Well, so much for that video, I guess. Let's move on to the next one. All right, we are going to do, okay. Y'all gonna give me a hard time about this one. Right here, look at here. Just bought this bottle. Proper 12. So, it looks like I'm backwards on the screen there. Sorry about that. We're gonna do a review of Proper 12. All right, so I'm gonna show y'all my little trick here. All right, so what I do with these is I wet the bar. And I'm gonna end up scratching up my bar and I'm gonna have to have it refinished. But I wet the bar, so when we're filming these, I wanna do, you know, you'll see the bottle slide, right? Slide into frame like that. Let's get the plastic off of it. Well, I don't want anything to come off for me. Alrighty, Proper 12. Proper. All right, start these cameras up. All right, so like I said, the last thing you want is for you to be going through all this and not recording. So I got both of those going. My audio is recording. And we are ready to film a review of Proper 12. Conor, what are we going to say about this guy? Conor McGregor may kick my ass for this, but we're going to give his whiskey a try because I just don't know about celebrity whiskeys. How would y'all intro this? Let me know in the chat. How would y'all intro this? Like, we're trying to make this entertaining, and we got to hook folks right at the beginning. So, what I want to do is, we want to mention the celebrity, and then we want to get right into the whiskey. So, this is Conor McGregor, and this is his whiskey. And he may kick my ass for saying this, but usually celebrity whiskeys aren't that good. Today, we're going to do a whiskey review of Proper 12. Today, we're going to do a whiskey review of Proper 12. Try to get it where the label slides. Today, we're going to do a whiskey review of Proper 12. Today, we're going to do a whiskey review of Proper 12. All right. Proper 12 is garbage? Great. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know that right what I'm filming. Thank you. And of course, this may be in the shot. I don't know. It'll be all right. They'll work it out. What's going on, everyday drinker? We're just hanging out filming some videos. That's all. Just hanging out, doing a little behind the scenes. I'm going to try to set up a camera and get this a little better so y'all can kind of see everything that's going on. I know the framing is a little off with this thing. If I were over here, you'd be good, but I'm a little here. So I probably need to move y'all just a hair here. Move y'all back just a bit. See how that goes. All right. Let's do the intro. My name is TJ Gamble and this is Brewzle, which is just an elaborate attempt to make my bourbon selection a tax deduction. If you don't take things too serious and you're into having fun with your whiskey, then consider subscribing and hanging out and maybe helping me reach my tax goals. Let's get into it. Now, I'm a bourbon lover, and Irish whiskey is not something that I have explored very much. And so, really, I've had a little Jameson, pretty much the only Irish whiskey I can remember drinking, and I didn't love that. Wasn't bad, but I didn't love it. So, let's give Proper 12 a proper review. It's got a pretty good cork pop. It's a green bottle, which would be a little unusual for a bourbon to have a green bottle. But this one's Irish, and everything Irish is green. So I guess it makes sense in that regard. Looking at the whiskey, though, it is extremely light. as most Irish whiskeys that I've had. Like that is just really, really light and transparent. So I'm not expecting a lot of oakiness or depth of flavors. And I don't get that. I don't know what that nose is. Like it almost smells like a faint smell of dirty dishwater. Like that's pretty much, and citrus. So you used a citrus dish soap and you washed all your dishes and you left it sitting there, or maybe an old mop bucket. Pretty much what it smells like. Okay, it tastes better than that. It tastes better than that. It's got a light sweetness to it. I get a little bit of that dishwater on the finish. A little bit of a tea flavor. Overall, it's not bad. Like if somebody handed me this, I wouldn't be grossed out by it. But I also would never order another one. So on my scale, we're going to go 1 to 100. Pretty much an A means I buy every bottle I can ever get my hands on. B is where I just keep it around. I maybe, may use it for a mixer if it's readily available, but it's a good easy sipper. I'll keep it on the bar, and if I come across another one, I may or may not buy it. C and below is mixer only. If it's below a C, it's a drain pour. Like it's going to go into a barbecue sauce or a bourbon glaze. And honestly, if I need a whiskey for some sort of glaze, the C's are the first ones to go because I don't usually keep the D's around. I'm going to put this one at just a C plus, right? Pretty good sipper. Probably use it to mix in some drinks that call for Irish whiskey, but not something I'm ever going to pour again neat in a Glencairn. Let me know your thoughts on proper 12 or what whiskey I should try next. Is there another Irish whiskey? Really about to try some sort of scotch too. So is there a scotch I should be on the lookout for? Let me know in the comments, and I appreciate you watching. All right, so we got that one. Make sure, I'd like to double check and make sure everything was recording when I'm checking on these again. Looks like they were. All right, let's catch up on the chats. Catch up on the chat. Never had Jameson, bought a bottle of Chivas Regal 12, took one sip and gave it away. Interesting. Nick H is retracting his comments. Lots of things can make whiskey great. Celebrities are not one of them. Who's that quote from? Who's that quote from? Rob, let me know right now in the chat because I'm going to use that. I'm going to refilm that line to put in this video if that's not a quote from somebody else. If you just made that up on the spot, I'm going to use that. These freaking fruit flies are killing me, man. Killing me. You can't leave fruit laying around, apparently, not even in a trash can, in a cabinet. Like, how did they get in the cabinet in my trash can? And now I've thrown the trash away, so now they're just flying around. Rob just made it up. Let's add that in. Let's add that in. I'm going to hit the record button. All right, so to the editors, someone in the chat, Rob in the chat, put thanks Rob over maybe, if you can work him into the edit, if it makes sense, that's fine, do that. We'll give him credit for it. But I wanted to add this line to the proper 12 intro here. There are lots of things that make whiskeys great. Celebrities are not usually one of them. All right, I like that line, Rob. That's a good line. Rob is adding to the content. Look at there. Did we turn this one on? Yeah, we turned that one on too. All righty. Well, I can't find my freaking sugar cubes. I don't know where my sugar cubes went. Are they back there behind those? Oh, there they are. I hid them behind some bottles of water. So now we can film that other video. Sugar cubes. Let's get to that other one. Just hit the live button. Oh, okay. Recommended something that was 5 minutes ago. It's all good, man. It's all good. I appreciate you coming and hanging out. Like I said, this is pretty informal. We're just having a good time filming some videos, goofing off. Like, we're not too serious here, ever. We're not too serious here, ever. So if you're 5 minutes ago, fine. But I appreciate you catching up. Gifted a bottle of New Riff. Have you done a tasting on their stuff? I don't think I have any New Riff. I don't have any New Riff. I need New Riff. Like, I keep getting asked about it, and I just never buy a bottle. I don't know why. Liga number 9 and smoked Manhattan. That sounds, I don't know what Liga number 9 is, but a smoked Manhattan sounds good. So do y'all like this? Like, is this fun? Are y'all enjoying this? Because if it's kind of boring, then we won't do it. Like, I want to make sure we're at least having a good time. It's a little awkward because I'm normally wanting to really interact, make sure I reply to everybody's comment as much as I can and try to put on a show. Here, I'm focusing a little more here, and I'm trying to keep up, and I'm trying to talk to y'all. But if this is fun, great. If not, I understand. No hard feelings. We just want to put out the best content we can. Honestly, I need the view time on YouTube, so y'all hanging out and giving me these view times actually helps us out a whole bunch. And I need to turn the air down or something. Like, the problem is it's cool down here, but like right here in the bar, these were closets. And so there's no AC vents right here. So with the lights and everything, over there it's cool, so the thermostat stays off, but it gets kind of warm right here. So I really need to turn that guy down to like 60 degrees to blast full blast while I'm over here filming to keep this area at a decent temperature so it's not 80 degrees over here. Minnick does this for members. Eventually this will be a Patreon only thing if we can grow Patreon to that kind of size. We're just getting started, and I appreciate all the support from all the Patreons. That's just incredible. Honestly, I don't know why anybody would give me money every month to create content. So that's, it's humbling and awesome. But we only have a handful because we literally started it last Thursday. And so I want to, eventually this will be kind of Patreon only. But maybe. But we've got to get that up to a size to where we have enough of those folks that want to come hang out. Like, if it's just me and one person, I mean, that's cool, but it's not as cool as having, 17 or 20 of y'all. It's not as cool as having 200 of y'all hanging out in here. So, time slot is tough. I understand that. But at the same time, I got to film. So, I may do these in the evening sometime. Like, we may start trying to do like I'm trying to be respectful to the bourbon community. All right, here on YouTube, because there's a cool community that I want to plug into, and I know we don't just cover bourbon, but I like all of the bourbon folks. They're a lot of fun, and several of the prominent channels stream on different days, and so every time I stream, they're like, "Oh, so and so streaming at this time," and I was like, "Well, I'd go watch their stream and participate rather than trying to compete for views." But Lord, there's somebody every night, so I'm gonna have to pick a night. I think this Wednesday, I'm probably going to stream early. I'm probably going to go live from 6 to 7 on TikTok, maybe. And we might go 6 to 8 this week, and then switch over to YouTube on Wednesdays and go from like 8 to 10 or something like that. So I think Wednesday is going to be our regular stream here on YouTube. And then, we'll see about maybe going live one other night and just doing filming content like this. Like maybe on Tuesday nights, we just fire up and we film stuff. That would be fun as well. I'll be a little more organized. This was kind of last minute. This morning I had to film some stuff and I was like, let's fire it up and live stream it. Like, let's just do something. Try it out, see if people like it. So we're gonna do that. I need to get my recipe book for this old fashioned so we can film this video. Give me 1 minute. So realistically, on YouTube, what's fun about YouTube is that if we set it all up, if I get all of this set up like I want it, I'll actually be able to flip and show y'all the camera views that I'm seeing. So we'll be able to use these cameras for the live stream as well. I just don't have a live stream rig set up connected to these cameras. And they're all in the way. Like I have to break them down and put them up because they're all in the way. So we're gonna try to mount them further back and get longer lenses so that they're back behind the walkway so that they're not blocking the way. I don't have to take them down and put them up. And then we're gonna build a whole live streaming rig in here so when I come and do this, I can just hit a button and y'all can see this camera, so I'm talking to y'all when I do it. Now people that are coming in are gonna be like, what the hell's going on? So we'll have to do some graphics or something on top to make sense. But I might even be able to have Will, who's in the chat here, moderating this. I guess Will's still here. I haven't seen him in a while. Gamtang, he's the mod on this, and I might actually be able to have him VPN into our network and switch cameras and put on a whole production while we're filming these. So that would be fun. Hopefully this doesn't take away from the videos though, seeing how y'all kind of see how it's gonna go. Now I've already filmed B-roll for this. So we've got B-roll because we tried to do this one before, but the video wasn't real good. So what are we gonna need? We're gonna need whiskey, 1 glass. So y'all let me know. This is a cocktail recipe from right after Prohibition. This book was originally published in 1935, I believe. This version is the 1944 printing. And it calls for 1 glass of whiskey, which is 2 ounces of whiskey in this particular book. Which whiskey should we use for an old fashioned? Is there a particular bottle I should grab to use in this recipe? Let me know. Because we've got it, I assure you, we've got it. Now, why are the fruit flies on everything except for the fruit? Like I don't know. They're not on the fruit. I guess because I just cut it. So we're gonna need lemon peel right here. We're gonna need a slice of orange. We're gonna need bitters for this recipe right here. A little Angostura bitters. And we're gonna need sugar. So sugar, Angostura bitters, Curacao or absinthe. I do not like absinthe at all in any shape, form, or fashion. So I'm not gonna use it. Y'all can see how, I don't know if y'all see how dusty that bottle is, but that's the drywall. I come back here and I pulled all these bottles down and dusted every one of them last night and dusted off the bar. And it's all gonna get dirty again because that was just me cutting out drywall. Now I've gotta put it all back. But I've went out about 6 feet that way on that side of the bar so I could put in a little fridge to store ice and different ingredients for old fashions and just have more bottle storage as well because we've come mighty close to maxing out. When I built this bar, I was like, oh, this is more than big enough. I'll never need more space than this. Lord have mercy. Well, that lasted less than a year, and now I need more space. So, Old Forester 1920. Hey, that's a good recommendation, Kyle. That is a great recommendation. Turns out better than the Blackthorn. I think so. The 2 we've made, this one, now it was weird because it's not very much liquid and there's no ice. So it's just kind of this weird concoction, but it was kind of tasty. And when we made it before. Eventually this will be what is Patron? Patreon, so it's Patreon. A patron is someone who, so basically Patreon is where someone, basically gives me money every month to be kind of an insider. And we give them perks. So patreon.com/Brewzle. If Will was here, he could drop a link, but apparently he has abandoned me. It's 3:57 and he has abandoned his duties as the moderator on this stream. But you could subscribe for like $5 or $10 or something and just kind of get some perks. So eventually we're going to try to do some barrel picks. I am actively looking for a way to do some barrel picks, and that'll get you access to be able to buy those bottles and stuff like that. And then this kind of, it's a behind the scenes. So when we do something dumb and we spill a drink or something, we'll put like some extra footage and stuff behind the scenes. That's all. Angel's Envy is interesting. Basil Hayden, Elijah Craig, maybe some Willets. 1920 is my favorite bourbon to drink personally. Ancient Age is my wife's favorite in an old fashioned, actually. So that would be good. But I think the 1920 for the story, I think that's actually a good suggestion because we're going to go with something that's kind of old. And I had it here and I just moved it. When I was dusting them, they all got put back in a different place. My fruit flies are over here. I need to make sure all these bottles are closed up. I think they're trying to find something to land on here. I think for the story, this is a good bottle because it's 1920 style whiskey. This would have been the type of whiskey back during that era. It's high alcohol content. I think that one will be pretty good. Alrighty, let's give this guy a try. I'm going to need tongs for the sugar cube, but I need them to be dry because if they're wet, they're going to ruin the other sugar cubes in there. All right, so I'm trying to figure out the hook. Like, how do we record this? Let's turn these cameras on and see what's up. Also, what I'm set up, I'll be able to start the cameras from a laptop, so I won't have to walk behind y'all here. I've got one camera like that, but the ones I'm gonna mount in here are gonna be controllable remotely. Okay, so I got a bunch of crap on the bar that you can see. So I need to move this stuff off the bar. All my water from a Proper 12 video. Actually, let me just stack this stuff up neat for display right here. Probably don't need that sticker on that lemon. All right, recording. Turn my audio on, recording. I don't know if all this stuff is in the frame of that camera right there, but it'll be fine. We're gonna make an old-fashioned. This right here is the Burke's Complete Cocktail and Recipes Guide, originally published in 1935. And if you want to know what an old-fashioned tastes like, well, this is what it's supposed to be. So let's give it a try. I'm going to do that one more time. I look down. Don't look down. Always hold eye contact. I looked down while I was talking there. We're going to try an old-fashioned. This is the Burke's Complete Cocktail and Recipes Guide from 1935. We're going to make an old-fashioned. This is the Burke's Complete Cocktail and Recipes Guide, originally published in 1935. And if you want to know what an old-fashioned tasted like right after Prohibition, this is it. Let's give it a try. All right, so get that peel off there. Not this knife, I need the other one. It says to add 1 slice of orange. That's a thick boy. Let's try a smaller slice. Of course, a slice is a full slice through, don't y'all think? Like when it says slice, it ain't talking about a wedge. It would say a wedge, I would think. So we're gonna try a slice. Clean this up a little bit for the video. One slice of orange. 1 slice of lemon peel, mull with bitters and sugar. One lump of sugar, mull with we mull with bitters and sugar. Two dashes of bitters, although that was 2 hefty dashes of bitters. Might have over-bittered this a little bit. Then add the whiskey. We're going to go with Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style whiskey. And it calls for 1 glass, which upon research means 2 ounces. And 2 dashes of absinthe or curacao. So we've got an orange dry curacao, and we are going to try to put the equivalent of a couple of dashes of that in there. Might have been a little more than a couple of dashes, but it'll be all right. And then serve in the same glass. It doesn't say stir. It doesn't say add ice. It doesn't say anything. Like you just put the shit in there and you drink it. I mean, who am I to doubt, right? It's not a lot of alcohol, 2 ounces. It's not a lot of drink. Like normally I would want the old fashioned, and you put that big ice ball in there and it actually makes it look like it's even more. In this case, it's not impressive to look at. It smells like orange and lemon. Actually tastes pretty good though. Like it's orangey. That 1920 Prohibition style is delicious anyway. So it's like an orange version of that. Let's mix that up though. I want to try to give this a proper chance here. So let's just make sure we're mixing that up real good. That's really delicious. There's nothing wrong with that old-fashioned right there. I could see how y'all thought my old-fashioned was a little too sweet, because it's definitely going to be a little sweeter. Dang, choking on it. I could see how y'all could think my old-fashioned would be a little too sweet, because it's definitely a little sweeter than this, and this is delicious. So let me know your thoughts on this old-fashioned recipe. Do you enjoy these recipes from 1935? Should we try more of them? Do you have a vintage whiskey recipe that we should be giving a try? Let me know. Appreciate you watching. And I forgot to do the intro. So let's set this up real quick to do the intro. In case we do, so the intro we only really need on the long versions. And I don't know if this one will be a long version or not, but we really never know what's going to be a long version. So I like to shoot it anyway, but I've been forgetting, so you'll see some of our long form videos don't have it because I just didn't freaking shoot it. My name is TJ Gamble, and this is Brewzle, which is just an elaborate attempt to make my bourbon selection a tax deduction. If you don't take your whiskey too seriously and you're into having a good time and you want to help me meet my tax objectives, then consider... My name is TJ Gamble, and this is Brewzle, which is just an elaborate attempt to make my bourbon selection a tax deduction. If you don't take things too serious and you like having fun with your whiskey and you want to help me meet my tax objectives. My name is TJ Gamble, and this is Brewzle, which is just an elaborate attempt to make my bourbon selection a tax deduction. If you don't take things too serious and you like having a little fun with your whiskey and you want to help me meet my tax objectives, then consider subscribing. I appreciate you watching, and let's get right into it. All right, we got that. What have we filmed? 3 videos now? 3 videos now? That's pretty good. Let me hit the stop button on these. All right, got the cameras off, got the audio off. What else are we going to review? What else? Should we review something else, or is that it? Should we call it a day and just hang out? Is that what we should do? I got more fruit here for the fruit flies. Throw those in the trash, clean up my mess a little bit. I'm going to save those and make an old-fashioned. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make me a real old-fashioned here. How about that? Make me a real old-fashioned. I'll use the same glass. What are y'all drinking? Are y'all lucky enough to be drinking? It's only 4 o'clock. Y'all lucky enough to be drinking yet? So we shot 3 videos in an hour, which is a little slow for us. Normally I blaze through these a little faster, but we're trying to, make them a little longer. We're trying to do long form videos. If you're going to make a living doing content on anything really, you really need to be on long form videos. If you're doing shorts, you've got to have enormous scale to make a living, because you're basically going to be just making money off some brand deals. Bourbon is a really tough niche to do brand deals, because the bourbon companies are typically not doing brand deals with bourbon content creators. So the long form videos, we get ad revenue and things like that. And so we can build community and have more folks hang out with us and do stuff like this, which is what really starts to build some revenue to make it easy. Got to run. Country boy had to go. We didn't have orange debris from the slice. If you're talking about this, yeah, I mean, there's definitely orange in there, but not a lot. I mean, I didn't muddle it to death, but there's definitely some chunks of stuff in there, which, like, chunks of solid in a drink's not that bad as long as you didn't blend it and it's like 1,000 little chunks. You know, if they're big pieces like that orange in the bottom, that's not a problem. Sipping Eagle Rare, nice. Napping first, Daniel. Hopefully we didn't cut into your nap time. Can't go crazy, got to work later? Hey, that's understandable. I'm working right now. That's what's good about this. Working right now. This is work, which is kind of nuts. Obviously I have other things to do. I would love to just hang out and do bourbon stuff all day, but I am not that lucky. But I work, about 7 days a week so that I can cut out time for things like this. If I need to cut out some time in the middle of the week, it's fine. But of course, this weekend's football season, so I might not work that hard. Saturday, I've got to watch some football, go pick up a Volkswagen Beetle I bought for my daughter. We're going to start working on that project soon. Sunday, I'm going to be hanging drywall in here, and Sunday afternoon, I'm going to work on a Volkswagen Corrado. Cheers, Northwest Bourbon in the house. Thanks for joining. Wanting to try some old fashioned? I'm new to bourbon. Let's make an old. This is pretty good. And the more I get to the bottom, the more I get of the sugars, it's getting even better. But I want to try one of my old fashions. Let's see. I'm going to go grab the stuff right now. I got to go grab it out of the fridge right over here. Just take me 1 minute. Now, when I made my old fashioned for the video, I didn't have an orange, so I made it with orange bitters. What I'm about to do for you here is considerably better, and if I weren't a lazy content creator, I would have went and bought an orange. But that day, it's a lot like today. Like, you're just filming, you got to get a bunch of videos done, you need something to go out, you're filming it. I was like, I don't have an orange. So I grabbed some orange bitters, and I do make it with orange bitters more time than I make it without orange bitters, because I just almost never have an orange. If I buy oranges, they rot or they, the kids eat them or something. So what my old fashioned is we use a Demerara gum syrup, Right, I get this guy on Amazon. It's a little pricey, but honestly, Demerara is pricey everywhere. If you made just a simple syrup, probably be just fine. And honestly, I may make one with a simple syrup here later just to kind of check and see what's up. So what we're going to do though is we're going to put, I don't like to put the Demerara first. I'm going to make it with that ancient age, which again is my wife's favorite. So I've got this ancient age here. I don't like to put the Demerara first because it just kind of gets in the bottom and it's harder to mix up. So we're going to go 2 ounces. 2 ounces minus what I splashed all over the bar. Then we're going to put a 1/2 ounce of Demerara, and this doesn't have like a 1/2 ounce measure, so you just guess. Put a 1/2 ounce of that Demerara, and I always set this like that. Demerara is thick. So if I set it down like this on the bar, it's just gonna drip that stuff on the bar. So always flip it over and put the whiskey side down. Then we're gonna pop open, again, these are Luxardos, which are really pricey. I get them on Amazon, I buy them, 2 or 3 jars at a time, so they're a little cheaper, but this is not a super cheap old fashioned. It's a lot cheaper than going to a restaurant and having one. But I like a good full spoonful of that syrup. I like the sweetness. And then the orange is going to kind of offset that. What I like to do is just get if I have an orange, I get just a couple of drops of that orange juice out of there. And then I'm going to trim off a little of that peel. Might be a little too less. Might want a little more peel, but you're going to, squeeze it to get those oils out of that orange peel. Might go a little more. That was kind of a weak slice of orange peel. So express those, drop them in there. We're going to go 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, just like that. I'm going to stir that guy up. I think that's it. I'm not missing anything, am I? Am I missing anything? I don't know, it's been a long day. So we're gonna do that. Then we need ice. So this is my ice ball mold, so I don't have to use that whole thing over there. Now I just put these in last night. I'm not sure, honestly they came out so easy, I don't think they're completely frozen. And there's water, so they are not is my freezer working at all? These are barely frozen. I need to go check on that freezer and make sure it's turned down, or maybe the door wasn't completely closed, because they should be, it's been 20 hours, they should be pretty freaking closed. I don't know. Such is life. Ice is a big pain in the butt. I need a nice ice ball maker. I really want to I want to manufacture, this is the product I want to create and add to the world, is I want something the size of a large air fryer that just drops ice balls. And then it'll drop 6 or 7 of them, and I can take them out and put them in a container, and it'll make me 6 or 7 more. I just put it on the countertop, fill it with water like a Keurig, and it just drops out ice balls. That's what I want in life, right there. So we don't get that pretty ice ball. I can show y'all a little trick, though. I'll show y'all a little trick. If you really want the ice ball, okay, now you can't tell anybody. This is just between us, okay? This is just super top secret, insider only stuff right here, okay? Because it's going to make me look bad if y'all go telling everybody. Ice ball. It's not an ice ball, it's an acrylic, it's a clear acrylic ball that I use for filming. Now my ice balls look just like that. They're the exact same size, they look just like that when I make them. But this guy here is great for filming, because if you have 2 or 3 takes, you don't have to worry about it melting and all that jazz, right? But don't tell anybody. Shh, it's just between us. I'm not gonna put that in there. Well, I mean, it was clean, but. And that just come out, I don't know, it came out a little too sweet today. I think that water's melting too fast, but it's delicious. It is delicious. It's a little watered down already, because I think that ice was pretty melted. That's weird. I don't know what's up with the ice. Let me catch up with the chat. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. That's a pretty good advice there, Kyle. Follower from TikTok about make my first pour of the day and make some barbecue sauce. Ben, welcome. I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate you making the trek over from TikTok. What kind of barbecue sauce are you making? Are you doing competitions? Are you have a barbecue restaurant? You just making some for the weekend? Like, what kind of barbecue sauce? What's going in it? Let me know. Old fashioned is one of the only mixed drinks I'll drink intentionally. Yeah, and this one's pretty sweet too. And this one came out even sweeter. I don't know. Like I said, I think it may be something with the water. Kind of throwing the flavor. Oh, maybe it just wasn't mixed up good because that got better. I'm getting some of that bitters on it. I think the bitters may be in on the bottom. I got a little sidetracked there with the ice. What do I do with my empty bottles? I usually just keep all the corks in a bag. I don't know where my bag of corks is, but in case I ever lose a cork, break a cork, I just have a bunch of corks. My wife keeps most of my empty bottles. She does a lot of weddings and decorations, and she'll use them for table centerpieces and stuff. She'll take all the labels off and use them. Candy orange peels and syrup? That actually sounds really good. Prop ice, Kyle, I know. It's shocking, man. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, though, to get it done, right? Sometimes you got to just do what you got to do. Daniel. They use mashed potatoes for ice cream and film? Exactly. What's going on, Cheech? Man, we're just hanging out. We've been filming videos, so this is a little behind the scenes. You kind of missed most of the filming, unless I can find another bottle to do a review of. I've got this one. I need to do this one. One of our TikTok followers continued, and I forget his name. I got to look up his name, but he keeps asking for Maker's Mark 46. So we may fire it up and film that one here in just a second. Because honestly, I'm not sure I've ever had Maker's Mark 46. I thought I had, but when I got the bottle, I was like, this doesn't look that familiar. So we may film that one here in just a second. Just trying to get some videos out, and that'll probably just be a short, but we'll see. No love for scotch. Okay, so Michael, I don't, like, scotch is not my thing. I just don't love that peaty taste, right? And so that it's all that. It's not like scotch. People love it. And so I feel like I'm being left out. I feel left out. I'm not a hater. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh my God, your tastes are horrible if you like scotch. I feel like I'm wrong. Like something's wrong with me. I've got a little bit, the only scotch I have here right now is one a good friend of mine gave me. I did him a small favor and he gave me a really nice bottle of Balvenie Caribbean Cask 14 years. So we'll crack that sucker open after I finish my old fashioned. Going from sweet to that, probably not a great idea, but let's do it and see what's up. I'm full, like obviously bad ideas don't stop me from doing it. Like if it's a bad idea, normally I'm more attracted to it at that point. Tried whiskey stones. We're gonna do some whiskey stones here soon. I'm gonna order some stones. We're trying different things. So somebody, I don't even know who. It's kind of funny because I had a turkey baster in my last video. I don't know if y'all saw the video review today of Joseph Magnus cigar blend, the long form version. Even the short might have. Well, I don't think the short showed it on TikTok. We haven't released the short to YouTube yet. I used a turkey baster to drop water, and that day, like literally the day we filmed it. This Kentucky limestone water and a drop. I went to like 4 stores looking for one of these and nobody sells them locally. So I was gonna have to get online. We needed a video film. So I just used a turkey baster to drop water in. Thought it'd be funny. And they just got it. So we're gonna try different waters. We're gonna try limestone water, distilled water, tap water, and then we're gonna try ice balls, ice cubes, whiskey stones, like different ways of cooling it. We're gonna just experiment. Like that's what we're doing here, right? Just having a good time, trying different things. Because I've had whiskey stones and I didn't love them. Like they just didn't cool the whiskey very much. And so I just thought they were useless. They didn't make it worse, they just didn't help. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of whiskey over ice in general. I don't know, it brings out kind of a sharpness that I don't love. Whiskey Encore tonight at midnight. Man, I'll tell you what, I was online, goofing, I was working, I was answering comments. So we try to answer every comment we can on a video. Sometimes they get out of hand and we can't. So we're trying to answer between me and Will, who was in the chat here just a little while ago. We try to answer as many comments as we can. So I was up, was it Sunday night? I don't know, one night, and your live stream popped up that you were gonna go live. And I made it to about 11:45 and I just had to go to bed. I was like, I was trying to stay up, but midnight is tough, dude, that's tough. So what time do the Bourbon Junkies go on at 8, right? And then you go live immediately following. That's right. Haven't found a scotch that you really like? This one's good, but it's just not the flavor profile. Like I like the sweetness and the, that kind of thing. So like even super oaky bourbons, I'm not a huge fan of. I'm getting more into them, but there's a difference in that like peatiness and oakiness. Prefer scotch after bourbon? Well, we've been drinking a little bit here. None of it really good. Well, I mean, I had Pappy 15, so I guess you could consider that good, but my taste buds were fried from that god-awful concoction we made. Cognac, Hennessy, we're trying a bunch of different stuff. So we have tried, like we just did the review. We just filmed the review of Proper 12. First time I'd ever tried that, and I haven't had a lot of Irish whiskey. So we're gonna do a scotch, we're gonna do some cognac, we're gonna probably more like celebrity releases of each of those, just to make the video slightly more entertaining, but absolutely, we're gonna try a bunch of stuff. Country boys back in the house. Junkie started at 9 Eastern. Okay, so you're midnight Eastern. So I'm Central, and you were going live at midnight Central. Whatever night that was. It was last night before last. I was like, ooh, that's a tough time. But if y'all are not following Cheech, make sure you subscribe to Cheech. He does a cool live stream. It's a late night live stream, so it's probably too late for us old folks. But you young folks that stay up all night anyway, give it a try. That old fashioned just gets better and better. I was a little iffy on it at the start, but it's really sweet though. Man. All right, let's try this. I'm gonna get a little water before we hit that scotch. How much is that JC cognac though? I'm scared to ask. Is it one of those where if you ask the price, you can't afford it kind of things? Is it one of those, or is he trying to sell it to the masses? Will, are you still in the chat? Gamtang, or did you bail on me? Put that on the list. I could pull a 24-hour twice a week if I wanted to. I mean, I used to, and I can. I don't want to. I like sleep. Sleep is a good thing. And honestly, if you're going to be creating content, like, I don't know if y'all notice when I'm filming the videos, even now in the live streams, I try to keep the energy up a little bit, right? So if you're normally having a conversation with somebody, you're going to be talking like this. Like, this is how a conversation goes. Let's try some bourbon. Let's do some stuff. But when you're filming content, like, you need to take it up an octave. You need to be a little more animated. That's how you keep engagement up. So if you want to keep people watching the video, the edits need to be quick. And honestly, that's what I think we're bringing to Bourbon YouTube, is that more quick pace, get to the point. Some of these reviews, like the review we watched from It's a Bourbon Night today, where we created the tasting notes off of, that's a 17-minute review. And it's them sitting there and just talking, and that's good content. I'm not knocking it at all, but I would love to see their retention graph on that. Like, I would love to see how long people watch that video. I can't do it. If I talk like that, if we go real slow and we're just having a conversation and we're just talking, people bail. They're there like 30 seconds, a minute, and they're gone. So I try to keep it fast paced and get right into, we got to have a hook, and then we got to deliver on that pretty short order. So that's why, if you don't have sleep, it's really hard to do that. And I filmed a lot of videos over the years for work, where we were up working late till 2 or 3 in the morning, and then the next day I try to film some stuff, and it's just like me talking like this, and it just a little bit of a change in energy is really noticeable on those, because you want to be silly and fun and having a good time and animated. And so when you're exhausted, it's hard to do that. So sleep's important to me. That's why shorts are more. Tyler Moran in the chat. Is this like the Tyler Moran? Is this like my relative Tyler Moran, or is this another Tyler Moran? Country Boy has a high energy level. I bet you do. So you're going to start creating? Should start creating soon. 50 to 60 bucks. We'll try that, Jake. We'll try that. So I'll add that to the list. Jay-Z's Cognac. We'll get that. That'll be coming up here pretty soon if I can find some. Doka Ryan does a great job as energy and edits. Check out his channel. Let me pull that up on my phone here and look at Doka Ryan. Because I don't think I'm following Doka Ryan. Doka Ryan. Okay, so this is not bourbon. Oh, no, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, this guy's doing, not exactly bourbon, but alcohol content. Yeah, yes, that dude's a little over the top. So I try not to be over the top because that can turn folks off as well. Like that comes across a little fake and a little, unless you have like a really interesting hook, which a lot of his stuff does. I'm not subscribed, but I've seen his. I saw his the other day. We were looking to do we put a cigar in this one. So I was looking at cigar and a whiskey and different stuff. And I come across one where he just soaked a cigar in whiskey overnight. So that's, it's interesting. That's where I found him. Sit on a tractor for 8 hours a day, 3 times a week. Hey, I understand that. Tyler, man, welcome. I appreciate you hanging out. So Tyler lives just up the road from me a little ways. And my mother and his mother are sisters, which makes us first cousins. Country Boy already has a channel. Why am I not subscribed then, Country Boy? Are you doing like farm stuff? Is that what you're doing? Country Boy Kale. Throw some support, man. I appreciate you hanging out in here. You've been giving us a lot of support. So I am now subscribed. Nice. 58 subscribers in 3 months. Hey, that's good, man. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing for the engagement and the edits. The only advice I can give you is you need to put out regular content, but slow down enough to where you have enough time to push the quality on each and every episode. Right? If you look at some of my stuff for work, like my first videos were god awful. Like I'm just talking to the camera and I don't know what I'm doing, and it's a GoPro, it's bad lighting, it's bad audio, the whole thing's terrible. Nowadays you got cell phones and all that stuff that'll do great videos and pretty good audio. So just be able to have enough time to be able to push your production value and what you're doing and your hook and how you're trying to engage people just a little bit better each and every time, and sooner or later you'll be a pro. Mostly hurry up and wait. Oh yeah, I know for sure. Your mama and them. Yeah, well, you say that, but that's like a phrase. That's just a normal phrase. That's not something unusual. Let's try this scotch right here. See, so it tastes, or it smells, it's very like tea, peat, smoke kind of. And this one, a little bit of sweetness on it, and this one's not super over the top, which is why I kind of like it. It's just like a sharp, off-putting, peaty nastiness on it, though. Like it's just that peaty funk that I just cannot get over. And if I force myself to drink enough of this, I would probably get used to that flavor and enjoy it, but I just don't. When I've got all this bourbon, why do I go to this? Any traction on a barrel pick? No, Rob. I have not found anybody to do a barrel pick yet. I'm trying to. Patron was our main focus, trying to get that set up, and now that that's set up, we really need some benefits. So we need some barrel picks. So I am pushing. I've had some conversations. We've been trying to push right now. Our main focus is getting a sponsor on the live streams so we can give away bottles. We're trying to do a bottle giveaway. We have somebody that's agreed. I still don't have the paperwork. So they keep saying they're going to send the paperwork. I don't have the paperwork. I don't know if they're rethinking it, second guessing their decision, or if they're just really slow or bad with paperwork. I don't know. All those things are a concern. So I'm focused on trying to get that done. But that's kind of stretching out. It's gone like 2 weeks longer than I thought it would at this point. As soon as that's done, barrel picks are my next focus. When the little bit of limited time me and my small team have. barrel picks are next because I want to do it. Like I'd love to do some barrel picks. Russell's 10 over any Scotch ever? I would probably agree with that. I mean, Russell 10's not my favorite. I like Russell's 10 a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's not my favorite, but I would take that over a Scotch. That kind of bitter oak is better than this kind of, this peatiness. Favorite regular beer. So this weekend is football season. I mean, last weekend was football season, but most of the really good teams didn't play. So this weekend being football season, that's when I drink the majority of beer. Like I'll kill it during fall, and then I'll just kind of quit till next fall. So normally I'm just drinking banquets, right? You go to Kroger for $1. They got like the 16-ounce cans of Coors Banquet. Man, I'll buy like 10 of those, and that is a good weekend for me. Good weekend right there. I'm trying to set it up in here. I'm extending this wall. I'll show y'all kind of. It's a mess over here, so y'all don't be judgy. Y'all don't be judgy. But the bar, we built the bar last year, and then I had a little short. This is plugged in, so I had a little short wall here that's not big enough for a decent sized TV. And so I extended it 20 inches to be able to add a TV, and I built a little room over there for a fridge and stuff. And so I'm trying to get that done. It won't be done by this weekend because I'm waiting on the electricians to come add the plugs and all that stuff before I drywall it. So they came out today to get the info they needed to quote it. And so I built a little room there so I could throw a fridge in there and more bottle storage. And I've got a room here I've got a 55-inch TV over there on a stand I can mount here. And then I've got like a 75-inch and I think it's a 75-inch and a 70-inch TV in there. In that room over there, we're going to mount. And so we're going to be ready for football season. We're going to get crazy with it. So I'm going to go through some beer for sure. And if not that, I'd really like Cigar City Maduro. I'm a brown ale fan. So brown ales, a Scotch ale if they don't have that. There shouldn't be any peat. So what is that flavor then? So if it's not peat, like I'm an idiot. So what am I describing that it tastes like Band-Aids soaked in a whiskey? What is that? If that's not peat, then what am I describing? It's the malt. It's malt, isn't it? It's the maltiness. It's a single malt, so it's just like really malty. That's the word. So I'm just using the wrong word. Instead of peat, I mean, it's a maltiness. I do have another single malt. John Emerald, local distiller here, makes a really nice single malt. It's not super malty. It's a lot less malty. We'll try that next. So I bet it's the maltiness is what I'm trying to describe. Not the peat smoke, it's the maltiness that gets me. So what is a low malt Scotch that I should try? Yeah, it's the maltiness. I apologize. I don't know much about Scotch. If you come in here for Scotch content, I'm going to lead you down the wrong path. Started on Scotch with my buddies later in high school, but I have 100% transitioned to bourbon in the last 2 years or so. I like bourbon better, but I feel like I'm missing out because folks love Scotch so much. 16-ounce High Lifes, man, go with the Miller High Life. Nothing wrong with that, guys. Malt funk, yeah, it's the maltiness. So it's a single malt. So it's only got one malt, but damn, they put a lot of that one malt in here. Right? And I just don't like the maltiness. So how do I get past that? Seriously, it's like a Band-Aid, some rubber bands soaked in whiskey. Cigar City Maduro, yes, that is a good one. I wish it's hard to get around here. There's a local little like craft. They've got 5 or 6 taps, or maybe 10 taps, and they rotate through different beers. I can usually go up there and get it by the can, but it is super expensive there. So I don't buy it a lot, but when I see it at a decent price, that's if I go somewhere and they have it. And one day I went up to that local craft place and they had it on tap. God, love it. I should have got some growlers of it. I really want to I'm thinking about, I've got a space in there for a fridge. I don't have a space for a fridge and a kegerator. So I've been thinking about putting a kegerator and trying to get that on tap. See if I couldn't order a small keg. Single malt barley, yeah, Kyle, I understand. It's 100% malted barley. Try something with medium peat. So it's all malted barley. So I can't get one without the malt. Not a fan of the smoky, peaty scotch. Some folks have sent me some, but I ended up just giving them away. Maybe tires. How much does smell add to the taste of bourbon? So realistically, smell adds to the taste of anything. Like a lot of what you pick up as taste is actually your olfactory system, your smell system, picking up those notes. And so smell adds to it. Now it's not everything. So like this, or what was it we were drinking earlier? The Proper 12. The Proper 12 we were shooting a video on earlier. Didn't love the smell, but then when I tried it, it's much sweeter and I pick up some different things. So the smell does impact the flavor of anything, not just whiskey. But it has an impact. But it's not it's not the most important, but it's a big factor, I guess I should say. Somebody's here. Who's ringing my doorbell? Trying to live stream. But we got cameras, so I just check them out. They're not at the front door, they're at the side door. Looks like my wife's sister is here. I'm sure it's like most foods, if it smells bad, it tastes bad. I mean, usually, right? Like, I think your smell is like a warning not to eat this thing. So if you don't like the smell, you're probably not gonna like the taste. That's not always the case with a whiskey, though. I mean, if it smells terrible, it's probably gonna taste terrible. Let me grab a fresh blend. We're gonna try John Emerald. Now, the distiller of this lives right across the road from me, like literally. If I walk out my side door, my carport, his house is right across the road. I need to talk to him about doing some more bourbon stuff. Like realistically, if he had a solid bourbon offering, that should be our first barrel pick. You gotta eat the cherry in these, man. You can't leave the cherry. I just washed all these Glens and now we're dirtying them all up. Happens every live stream though. We're just gonna pour a little taste of that. 21 folks still hanging out with us. That's crazy, man. I appreciate y'all in the middle of the freaking day. And this was just an impromptu stream where we're filming some stuff. In just a second, I'm gonna try this, and then we're gonna clean the bar off, and we're gonna film a review of Maker's Mark 46. So we're gonna film that here in just a second. And that'll probably be the last review. Oh, look, I got this one. This is not a scotch, but this is an American vatted malt. I don't know what an American vatted malt is, but I've got that. You can see I haven't drank it. Somebody sent it to me, didn't love it. Recently joined a whiskey club with some of my uncles, and they often taste notes that I just can't find. Levi, it's just drinking. First of all, have a good glass, which I assume if you're in their club, they've got a good glass. And second, it's just continue drinking, man. Just continue tasting, because you evolve, you get more accustomed to the alcohol and the proof. And you know, if you hear their notes, then try to find it. Sometimes we just have different palates, right? Sometimes our palates just pick up different things than what they pick up. And sometimes people just describe it poorly. Like I literally called that peat and it's malt, malted barley. So sometimes people just say dumb things. So don't feel less because you're not picking up some of the flavors that they're picking up, because honestly, their palate may be different or they may be full of shit. Either way, like it could be either one of those. Just did the John Emerald Distillery. You were here at, like, John Emerald's just a mile away from it. Just like the regular proof double oaked over the barrel proof. See, I wanted the barrel proof. They had 4 barrel proofs at the distillery last week, and I wished I went up there and got one. I haven't tried the barrel proof yet. This one is one I used to give away a lot to folks. If I'd go somewhere and somebody was into scotch, I mean, I know this is a single malt whiskey, not a scotch, but I would take this and give it away. And folks that were into scotch seemed to like it. And so I could drink that. Like, that's pretty good to me. It's not super malty. It's really sweet on the palate. Like, I feel like that's a pretty good whiskey. For a malted whiskey, I can do that. That's not, it doesn't have that kind of off-putting, like, bitterness that Balvenie has. But pretty good stuff. Can't stand Makers, haven't had any of the special bottles. Okay, so normal Makers, like, honestly, it's been so long since I've had normal Makers, I couldn't tell you if I like it or not. But they're like limited release cask strength stuff, like FAE01's freaking fantastic, man. Like, that is a good bottle. That is a good bottle. And I've got FAE02 up here as well, which I haven't drank much of it. I like it not as much as FAE01. Cough syrup is a perfect example of it. Smells bad. It probably won't taste all that great. I love cough syrup, country boy. What are you talking about, man? Cough syrup's delicious. Can't stand, let's see. My dad drinks Maker's Mark as a mix. Maker's as a mixer is good. Yeah, you can't argue with that. Western Sun in lemonade? I don't think I've ever tried Western Sun. Yeah, if you try the FAE01, seriously. If you haven't tried it, give it a try. And we're going to try that 46. I don't know if I've ever had the 46. One of our TikTok followers strongly urged me to do it, and just keeps following up, because we get a lot of, like, would you try this whiskeys? We get a ton, like, if you're getting 1 million views, on a 1 million view video, I'm going to get 30 or 40 or 50 or 100. Try this. And so we can't try them all. Like, unfortunately, I'd love to, can't try them all. So, but when somebody keeps following up, like, if you keep pinging me, eventually I'll try to be like, okay, this guy's serious. They really want me to try this. I'll give it a shot, because I really do, want to put out stuff that y'all want to watch. Now, it's got to be something that I can do in a way that other people would want to watch too. Because if we do a video and only gets 1 view, that was a lot of effort. So Maker's 46, how's that video going to do? I don't expect it to do particularly well. Like, I don't know, would y'all watch a video on Maker's Mark 46? What does Maker's Mark 46 go for MSRP? I need to find that out. I don't even know what I paid for this bottle. Putting these, let's see, this one was up here. Clean up the bar a little bit so we can shoot this review. I don't know what's up with my ice though. That was a huge disappointment. Don't know why that's not properly frozen. It's been in there. Usually it takes about 24 hours for those ice balls to freeze all the way through. And I am not sure why after 20 hours, they weren't even half frozen. I don't know if the freezers, I did fill the freezer up with a bunch of ice, so I may have just overwhelmed it, but I may need a new freezer. I'm on it, find the MSRP. I appreciate it, country boy. 46 CA, which is an excellent Makers. The 46, well, that's what we're about to do. That's what we're about to do the review on, Makers 46 right here. Yeah, the wood finishing series are delicious. The surgeon and the primary care physician and the infectious, if I sweat, I die. Okay, fuego. Sorry about that. It's hot in here, so I'm most definitely sweating. This, cask strength, I got you. This is not the cask strength. This is French oak. This is 47%, so 96 proof. Math is, I'm pretty good at math, but after you've been drinking all afternoon, probably not my strong suit. $29, $37.99 at ABC. I think I paid a little more than, I bought it at like one of my local, I always go to like a local gas station liquor store. I get a few allocated products from them, so sometimes I'll pay the markup. They may have, I may have peeled the price tag off of it already. I don't, big orange sticker they put on it. So about 30 bucks, and then ABC's $37.99. So I probably paid 40 bucks for it, which is overpaying, but I, try to support local stores when I can. So let's film this. Let's shoot this video real quick, and this will be the last video We are filming today. I'm gonna need some water after that scotch. Y'all got me drinking scotch, so I'm gonna hate everything. 94. Yeah, I'm an idiot. You're right. What'd I say? 96 proof? I'm an idiot. It's been a long day. Y'all don't even know. I've been filming since about 11 o'clock this morning. I mean, I've been writing videos and filming since I got up this morning at about 7:30. At least since I got in the office at 7:30. Writing videos is the worst. Now, the good thing about bourbon content is you don't really need to write it. You just need to react. Now, if we're going to do something really cool, if we're going to try to take it up a notch, we're going to have to start writing some scripts. But right now, it's just try something, tell me what you think of it. So that's pretty easy stuff. Just country boy, yeah. Nah, I'm like 2 classes away from a freaking math degree. I ought to be able to multiply 47 times 2. Now the U.S. has really dumb measurements for everything, unfortunately, so that doesn't help a whole bunch, right? All right, so let's do a bourbon review of Maker's 46. So again, if y'all weren't here earlier, we have to wet the bar a little bit, because we're gonna y'all will see in the videos. Y'all start paying attention now in the videos. The bottle slide. So I'm trying to not scratch my bar up too much. So we add a little bit of lubrication there. Drop my rag. All right, let's get these cameras going. Give me just 1 second. All right, both of those are rolling. Audio, got to turn my audio recorder on. Audio is rolling. I don't know what the intro for this one is though. Like, how do you hook people on French oak? What happens when you take an okay whiskey and you finish it in French oak? Well, let's give it a try. What happens when you take an okay whiskey like Maker's Mark and you finish it in French oak? I don't know, but we're about to find out, because today we're doing a bourbon review of Maker's Mark 46. What happens when you take an okay bourbon and you finish it in free? What happens when you take an okay bourbon and you finish it in French oak? I don't know, but we're about to find out when we do a bourbon review of Maker's Mark 46. I'm gonna do a couple more slides and they'll just slide a little. My wife is sanding something. Hopefully that doesn't. She's working on refinishing some furniture from my daughter's room. Trying to get that label straight with the camera. That's why you have good editors. And I'm hoping that's in frame. Like, I don't know. That's a pretty good slide. They'll take one of those, it'll work. All right. So this is Maker's Mark French Oak Bill's Recipe number 46. And this is Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, barrel finished with 10 virgin French oak staves. So they take Maker's Mark, and they put it in a so this is normal. So based on that description, this appears to be just normals. So based on that description, this appears to be normal Maker's Mark. And they just take it and put 10 French oak staves in the barrel and see, So based on that description, this appears to be just normal Maker's Mark. And they drop 10 French oak staves into the barrel, and this is what comes out of it. So this is 47 proof. Let's give it a try. MSRP of this guy is right around $30, although I think here in Alabama it costs a bit more than that. Screw top, so you know it's quality. Makes interesting noises when you pour it out of the bottle, although that means absolutely nothing. Okay, so it's really kind of got an interesting sweetness to it. Now, it's been a while since I've had just normal Makers. And Makers has kind of a nice sweetness to it already. So I'm not smelling anything that would say French oak. Maybe just a hint of that on the nose. And I probably need a normal Makers to really compare this to, but that's pleasant. It's got a nice balance. It's got a nice sweetness to it. I get a little bit of kind of an interesting oaky bite kind of in the mid palate, and it leaves me with a nice oakiness on the finish. So overall, not a bad whiskey at all. If somebody poured me that, I would definitely not complain about it. But at the same time, that's definitely not an A-grade whiskey. That's just an okay sipper. So I would probably put this particular bottle in the low B range, say about an 81 or so on our scale of 1 to 100, which means that this is a good sipper, and if I run out of mixers, this may get used in an old fashioned. Let me know your thoughts. Have you tried Maker's Mark 46 French Oak? And do you like it? Like, is this like your go-to? Is this your jam? Or are you like me? It's just fine. Nothing wrong with it. It's pretty good. I'll enjoy it while I have it, but I probably won't go out seeking another bottle once this one is done. Appreciate you watching. Actually, we won't even do an outro because this is definitely not going to be a long form video. This is going to be a short only. All right, so that is all of our recording. Let me shut the cameras off and we can just hang out and live stream for a little while. And that'll be cut down into less than 60 seconds. So that'll just be a short, but I'll stop these cameras, shut these guys off, and then we can just hang out. So what do we get, 4 videos shot? That's not bad. Nothing wrong with 4. Oh, I was supposed to do an under 20. Dadgummit. I was supposed to do an under 20. We may have to shoot that as well. I need to check and see what the under 20s were though. French, it's a country. Yeah. You are Alex in the house. So if anybody's doing content, Alex Shred, as we call him, Shred in the chat, is my editor. So does a fantastic job. Honestly, our videos would not be near as good as if we didn't have Shred doing them. It's a great situation now, because now I just drop it. Like, I don't even have to talk to him. I just give him footage. I'll just take these files, I'll drop them to him, and he'll take them and make them so much better than I would have had I been editing them. Gotta run, Kyle. I appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate you hanging out. So what's everybody up to? It's 5 o'clock, man. We are still got 16 people here hanging out. That's a good time. So I need to do this under 20. I forgot I was supposed to film this video, to be honest with you. We've been doing this whole under 20. We've been doing this whole under 20 thing, and I missed it. I missed it in my notes here. So let me look and see what video we're supposed to be shooting. I think I have notes in our project management system as to which two under 20 bottles we are actually supposed to be shooting. Under 20 reshoot. So Benchmark Bonded versus Evan Williams. So we're talking like normal Evan Williams right here, black label Evan Williams, and Benchmark Bonded. Where'd I move the benchmarks? Right here. The top doesn't stay on these very well, I'll be honest. Not a great top. So which of these, Benchmark Bonded, Evan Williams, which of these do you think you would like the best? Which one do you think is the best whiskey? Now we've shot these a couple of different ways, and they just didn't get a ton of views. And so we're trying to figure out a way, like I like this series, so I'm trying to not quit on it because they didn't get good views. And so we're trying to figure out how to increase engagement. So what we did was we blinded them and told you what we thought about them. And we're trying to do videos where we get the viewers' participation. What do you think about them? And then I'll try them and tell you my winner. But, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way. Yeah, Country Boy, you nailed it. Shred does a good job. So let's fire up the cameras, get these shot, and then we'll roll on. Because I really want to give this series a try and see if we can make this guy work here. Well, Shred, a little bit of bad news for you there, Shred. Apparently in the wide view, the light has been in the frame just a little bit, so you might have to just crop in a hair. Apologize about that. Shit happens. We get a couple of Glens for this video here. Again, we had all of the Glens clean, and now they're all dirty. At least they will be. We'll just use the A and B ones. Two bottles of whiskey, both under $20. Which one do you prefer between Evan Williams and Benchmark Bonded? That is 86 proof and 100 proof. Two bottles of bourbon, both under $20. Which do you prefer between Evan Williams coming in at 86 proof and Benchmark Bonded at 100 proof? Let's give them a try and see which ones. Let's give them a try and I'll give you my opinion. But let me know in the chat which one of these bottles you think is the best. Both of them screw tops. This guy has like a plastic screw top, and this Benchmark has the metal screw top that just has a hard time staying tight. So, and just bottle and screw top, the Evan Williams gets a point. Now, I'm a huge fan of Evan Williams bottle and bond. So at 100 proof, this is a fantastic whiskey. But this 86 proof is just, it's fine. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. But honestly, we'll use most of this as a mixer. I get a little bit of kind of a tea tobacco flavor and some interesting sweetness. For a cheap whiskey, nothing wrong with Evan Williams 86 proof. But that Benchmark Bonded at 100 proof gives you so much more solid of a mouthfeel, interesting kind of toasty, creme brulee, marshmallowy flavors. This is not really even a contest. So the winner, by far, for me, is Benchmark Bonded. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, that's the last video. We're done now, I promise. I promise, we are done. We are done. Elfine, finished. Finlamento. I think you need to figure this out though, because like you tighten it, and then if you over tighten it just a hair, it just pops back off. So you tighten it, it's good, a little too far. Like the metal screw tops suck. Don't do metal screw tops. Give me a good old plastic screw top any day of the week, please. But like this is okay whiskey. This is exceptional cheap whiskey. Like this is fantastic. This is okay. Same distiller, probably same whiskey, 100 proof bonded, and this guy here at 86 proof is just fine. I'm not even gonna drink that, but we'll finish this one. I've went up 300 subs since the stream started. Wow. I don't think that's from the stream though, honestly. Like with TikTok, if we stream on TikTok, that promotes our videos like crazy. I don't know if YouTube does that. Maybe it does. Now we're adding subs on the regular. So we've been adding about 700 subs a day the last few days. So when we started on YouTube, we took about 3 weeks to gain any traction. So the first 3 weeks, we got almost no views at all. A few, but then about 3 weeks in, one video took off like crazy. And so we grew, we were adding, I think we added 1,000 subs in one day or something crazy like that. Like we were growing regular. And then that video dipped. And so the views went down, the subs went down with it. And they went down to a nice level. Like we were getting, 20,000 views a day or something like that and adding, 100, 200 subs. And then the last week, maybe last 4 or 5 days, the views have started going up. So we have multiple videos carrying that now. So it's not one that's just gonna die. I think we're really starting to build some momentum. And so we're starting to get, 4, 5, 6, 700 subs a day, which is really, really cool. Hopefully we can keep that up. And it's fun because subs on shorts are not as valuable as subs on long. So if you could put out long form videos, like most of Bourbon YouTube puts out long form videos. So your Bourbon Junkies, ADHD Whiskey, like some of my favorites that I watch a lot, they've got, like Bourbon Junkies are at 93,000 subs. But that's long form subs, which are, infinitely more valuable. People who are watching your long form content. We are putting out shorts, but we're growing faster because of that. Now, if we could transfer folks over to live streams and build community and have folks hang out and that kind of thing is going to be fun, but it's also kind of fun to be a numbers game. Like at the number of subs we're adding right now, Bourbon Junkies have 93,000 and we have, I don't know, what are we about to cross over 15? We'll probably cross 15 tomorrow. We will beat them to 100,000 at the rate we're growing if we could keep that up, which is just nuts. Like that is just insane to me that they're at 93 and we will beat them to 100. But their 100 as far as like income and being able to actually have influence and produce, something that you can live off of is a lot bigger than what we've been doing. Pull this microphone off. I think we're done for the day. But it's fun. What's up? We're live on YouTube right now. Did Brooke leave? Yeah. Okay. I just got something I need her to fax, but she can get it to me or something.
Awesome.
The metal is so thin it just straightens out the first time you over tighten. Yeah, exactly. Like it's just not a good top for sure. Nick, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. If we could keep up the quality, like we're trying to do volume and quality, and that's tough to do. Like it is tough. Like we could just put out volume if we didn't care what we were talking about. And a lot of folks do that. They just put out a bunch and they think it's a game and they just like, hey, something's gonna pop, we don't know what. And we're trying to be a little more strategic about it and grow community along with it. And that's tough with shorts. 4.4K views, that's awesome. I think the most we've gotten in a 24-hour period right now, like we should beat it today, but I think the most views we've gotten in a 24-hour period is 186,000. And that we should beat that today the way things are going. So We'll see. We're going to be close. We were close yesterday. Actually, no, I take that back. We beat it yesterday. It was 186,700 yesterday, which was the most views we'd ever gotten in a 24-hour period. The video got taken down. I hate that, man. Why did it get taken down? 14.1, nice. That's a good number. I like it. I don't know if YouTube promotes your content when you're live, and that's what brings people over to the live or what, but TikTok most definitely does. TikTok most definitely does. Oh yeah, Daniel, we're having a good time. Like, it's a lot of fun right now. So we're not gonna be anything we're not. And we get a lot of hate just having, because I'm not that serious about it. We're just trying to have a good time. We're having fun. We're exploring. We're experimenting. We're goofing off. Speaking of experimenting, I've got to do a video. I'm gonna grab I've got a still, an air steel. I need to grab that thing. Let's see what's up with the air steel. It's in my closet back here, so I gotta dig in the closet and grab this thing. All right, I'm back. Hold on, I bought this thing like a year ago to start some videos with on TikTok, and then we never did anything with it. This is a companion pack, and this is an air steel. So this is like a little small whiskey steel. And so what I want to do is we're trying to take a mediocre whiskey and make it better, or at least a good whiskey, and make it even better. And I'm trying to figure out the whiskey I want to use. I was thinking Eagle Rare, but that's kind of hard to come by. And we might get a little hate for that. We tend to get hate if we use good whiskey for dumb ideas.
I'm not referring.
No, you're fine. So I never even opened this thing. We ordered it to create some content, and then we never used it for anything. Instructions and cords and everything's all taped up. So what we're going to do, the first experiment I want to do is we've got some aging stuff, like I've got a barrel and different things we're going to age. But I also want to, when you distill a whiskey that's already a whiskey, basically you're separating like all of the tasty stuff from the alcohol. And so I want to separate the tasty stuff from an alcohol and then do some experiments. So what happens when I take that tasty stuff and add it back to another bottle of that alcohol? I don't know. So would that make it better? So say we took a bottle of Eagle Rare and we distilled it down and we got the taste and the alcohol. And then we added the taste to another bottle of Eagle Rare. Don't know. But again, Eagle Rare, we can only do so many experiments. So I'm looking for a bottle to do some experiments with. And someone here suggested, was it maybe like a Wild Turkey 101 or something like that? Could be kind of interesting. Now, I've never used this guy. I've never used one of these at all. This is a brand new thing. It's got warning labels. Please plug both power cords in past the white line such that it is no longer visible to ensure that it is proper. There's more than one power cord? Does this say? Okay, so I guess this one that's plugged in on the back here and this one. And then we got a still. So if I plug it in, I believe it starts distilling stuff. Should we just go ahead and distill something? Is that what we should do? Or should we read the instructions? That's probably smart, right? Instructions. The easiest way to distill spirits. Distill has two, does it not have two L's? Liqueurs, water, and essential oils right in your kitchen, boat, or camper van. I mean, that's very specific. 10 liters, wash by mixing water, whatever. Pour some shit in there. Okay, that's vodka. I don't want to do vodka. I just want to take a whiskey that's already made and I want to distill it. steps and stuff. I don't even know what this thing is. Anybody here ever used an air steel? I don't know what this is. How do I get this top off? Like a twist off, have to unplug it back here, and then twist it off like that, and then it comes off. Nice. Rare breed would be crazy. Lincoln. The guy sent me pictures of the interior. It does not have cruise control. It does not have a tilt wheel. Otherwise, the Lincoln I'm looking at is fantastic. Now, the guy's like, I'm not sure I want to sell it anymore. I've been driving it lately. It's a lot of fun. But I want the Lincoln. And I can't just buy any. Like, I'm very particular, and there's one for sale right now that I really like. But it's just going to cost me more money than I'm comfortable spending. And so I'm iffy on it. While the video was taken down, I was on a bulldozer. Well, I mean, that makes a little bit of sense. How much is this still? I don't think it was that much. I don't know. I see stuff I want, I just buy it. Like if it's under a certain price, if it's like under taking it out of savings, I just buy it. I'm not really sure. But it's an air steel. You can just Google air steel. It's kind of fun. You can make your own vodka and stuff. I'm trying to figure out, like I'll pour a bottle in here, we'll distill it right now and see what happens if we can find something worth doing. Okay, so there's like filtering the wash. We recommend the 700 milliliter. Okay, so that, like there's this thing. This is maybe what they're talking about. What is this? Air Steel Companion Pack. The Companion Pack contains all the equipment you need to use with your Air Steel. The Companion Pack consists of an attractive, why did they use the word attractive? New Zealand style 10-liter benchtop fermenter, which includes a tap, blah, 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 collector for collecting from the air steel, and a carbon cartridge filtering system, I guess to filter the whiskey afterwards. We don't need to do all that. Like, we're starting with good whiskey, so we don't need all that crap. We just need air steel carbon cartridge. It's very attractive, big ass pipe, and a spoon. Good stuff. All right, so we're not doing any of this, but we are collecting. We do need to collect. What the heck are these things? Ceramic enhancers. Okay. So we don't need any of this crap. We're not making our own from scratch. We're going to take an already existing spirit and we are going to distill it and then just see what comes out of it. I don't know what's going on with this thing though. Distilling condition? This seems too complicated. I'm gonna be honest with you. It seems way overcomplicated. I'm not into really complicated things. So we're just gonna set this sucker here, and we're gonna throw some whiskey in it, and we're gonna see what comes out of it. How about that? Any experts in air steels here that can tell me whether or not this is a bad idea? Let me know. Let me know now, please, before I just go firing this thing up and seeing what happens to it. I'm not one for reading all the directions. So I think I've got a bottle of Old Tub. Let's get a bottle of Old Tub, see what happens to it. What brand is the still? It is called Still Spirits. Still Spirits. Of course, everything's backwards to y'all, isn't it? Still Spirits, trusted since 1989. Apparently, they've been doing this for a while. See what I've got in here to distill. Let's see. Right there. All right, so I've got this bottle of Old Tub. Now, in that decanter over there is more Old Tub. So what I want to do is I want to pour a sample of Old Tub to compare. So we're going to have like fresh Old Tub right here to this has got like a little plastic deal that goes in the top to seal it up, and it comes flying out. So we're going to pour a sample of Old Tub in here, and then when we're done with this, we will blend it with the Old Tub in that decanter over there, and we will see if it did indeed improve the Old Tub. I just want to use this thing. I just need to put some miles on it. Like, we need to do something with this air steel, and I can learn whether or not it's any good. Anybody here had Old Tub? Do you like Old Tub? Old Tub's a bonded Jim Beam product, so it's going to be right at 100 proof. I typically like bonded whiskeys. Not the best funnel in the world, to be honest with you. Oh, let's see. Just joined, not that drunk yet. We have been going for a couple of hours and we have had a few drinks, but just having a good time, man. Not that bad. Not an expert, but cleaning it first might be good. I mean, it looks clean, man. I mean, we'll rinse it out at least. How about that? Is that good enough? Like, this is not the final run, right? So we're just testing. It looks pretty clean. It's good enough. If you're worried about it being perfectly clean, just don't try my whiskey experiments. Yeah, I know it's reversed. It is called Still Spirits Air Steel, excuse me. If I buy the still, the companion pack for my dad would be around $350. Sounds reasonable. And I haven't been a huge fan of Old Tub. It's not bad. Like, I like Jim Beam products. Some of their older stuff, like a Baker's or a Booker's or something like that, is kind of interesting. Honestly, I don't think this thing needs to twist. It just kind of pushes down and seals. So I need to push that guy in, put it here, and then we need to plug it in and hang out and see what happens. I don't think there's an on-off button or anything. Like, you just plug it in and it does its magic. Like, you don't have to think about it. You don't really have to do anything. I don't know, I haven't tried it. But Hubert, thanks for joining, man, hanging out. We've been filming videos today, so today is just, we got like 3 or 4 videos filmed, just hanging out, having a good time. Here, like Daniel, sometimes you just got to YOLO, man. You know, if I spent all day reading videos or reading instructions or watching videos on how it works, that's probably smarter, but there's no substitute for like firsthand experience with something like this. So just do it, right? I'm just curious to see what comes out of it. I have no freaking clue what this is going to do. I don't know how long it takes. This could start working here in a minute. It could take 24 hours. Like, we read no instructions whatsoever. This is exactly how I would do it. I mean, at worst, we've wasted a bottle of Old Tub. And did we really lose anything? I can get another bottle of Old Tub anytime. And we've got a whole nother bottle in that decanter, that really silly decanter. This guy here has Old Tub in it. So we'll pour this out, or we'll pour that into the Old Tub, and then we'll compare it and see what's up. And then if it works, I'll recreate this whole scenario for a video. What time is it? 5:30. 5:30. It's been a long day. What time we start? 3 o'clock? We've been going 2.5 hours. That's not too bad. I think the junkies go live in a couple of hours. Hopefully this is quicker than that. I'm going to have to get dinner or something before the junkie stream. I'd like to join that and watch that for a while. So nobody in the chat's used one of these. I'm going to get bored here in a minute if I don't see something coming out. What are we pouring? Let's try something else. A little water. So there's some sort of fan going. I think it's blowing cold air out of the top of it. And I assume it's heating the things up inside. So, and for those that don't know, basically how a still works is a still is designed to separate alcohol from whatever it's in. And so it's going to heat up whatever you put in it to a point to where the alcohol vapor evaporates. So the alcohol will evaporate at a lower temperature than the water will. So the alcohol will evaporate first. And so that'll evaporate and it'll come up here and whatever it's got going on here, and then it'll condense back down into a fluid alcohol here. And then at some point, if you get the temperature too high, you get a lot of water. So if you get the temperature just right, you get a really high proof point on your alcohol. So what we're trying to do, this alcohol was made, and it was a white dog. So it was, it's basically going to be a clear spirit made out of mostly corn, and then it was put into a barrel and it was aged, and it got, smoother, and it lost that yeasty flavor that this kind of stuff is going to have, and it got all sorts of sugars and interesting flavors from the barrel. So what we're trying to do is separate the alcohol from all of those flavors. Now, the unknown, what the uncertain thing is what will that do to the flavors, the heating up of the alcohol. If you freeze a bourbon, that definitely changes the flavor. And so my assumption is if we heat it up a whole bunch, that's going to change the flavor as well. So it may not be as good once we mix it into the other old tub. It may completely ruin it. Like, I just don't know what's going to come out of it, but I'm insanely curious, so we're going to do it. What's going on, Lopez? You do know how they work? Half an hour? All right. I don't know who's calling, but I need to turn it off. Hopefully that didn't stop the stream over there, because that freaking iPhone to an iPad kind of, every time somebody calls, it rings on that thing. So half an hour. So we'll let it hang out. Hopefully that's not too loud for y'all. Let's pour a whiskey. Let's see what happens. Let's wait on this guy. I probably need to clean this. If y'all missed this was awful. Y'all will see the video here pretty soon, but the tasting notes we did today was one of the worst, I'll be honest. It was pretty nasty. Which is fun, because we're going to get a bunch of folks like, oh, you shouldn't have done it that way. You should have done it this way. So lately, what I've been doing is I've been taking some of these whiskeys and adding a little water to them. So like this Jack Daniel's Triple Mash. Since I've got in this Kentucky limestone water, I've been experimenting with it. And so if y'all are into bourbon, I don't know if you have to have Kentucky limestone water. Like, we're going to do some tests on whether or not this is better than any other water. But taking a whiskey, like last night we were trying more high proof whiskeys and just adding a couple of drops of water to an ounce or so of whiskey and seeing how that turns out. And it's actually been really, really interesting. The Elijah Craig barrel proof stuff we were trying last night was a lot better with a little water on it. I'm not sure it made this any better, because this is pretty good whiskey. For stuff that's moderately regularly available, I'm not sure that made it any better, but it definitely changes it. Like, there's a lot more subtlety and nuance to the flavors that you can pick up there. I've been watching Moonshiners. I have not, but apparently I need to, right? Might get some. Well, this is the thing they give me. Like, this is from the same people to collect this. What if I got glass that I can use? I'm sure I got a jar upstairs, but like, this is their thing that this company sells to collect it. So I don't know. We're gonna give it a try at this point. Mr. Lopez is a moonshiner. Nice. I had a buddy of mine had a reflex still that we used to make some moonshine. I've got some around here. It's not good. We were just playing around. We were just using a sugar wash and turbo yeast, and it was not drinkable. I mean, you could drink it, but it wasn't good. So I ended up giving most of it away. We tried it over some oak staves and different things, and it's still just not good. If you put it in a barrel and left it for 10 years, maybe, but who's got that kind of time? My favorite is Mark and Digger. Okay. Like I said, I watched the Little Moonshiners when it first came out, but it's been a while. But I'm in Alabama. I come from a long line of moonshiners. I just haven't really done it much myself. Yeah, sugar wash and turbo yeast, yes, it's not good. And we knew it wasn't good when we did it. So that buddy of mine that's got distilled, he hit me up the other day and said we're going to try to do a bourbon. So I sent him the mash bill for Weller's. So at least what is the theoretical mash bill. They don't actually reveal what the true mash bill is of Weller's. But I sent it to him. We're going to try that, and then we're going to try to age it and see what it comes out like. And that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Like, that's much better to me than trying to do a moonshine. White Lightning. Yeah, this is not fun to watch, is it? It's not fun. Oh, man. I appreciate all y'all hanging out this afternoon, though. Like, this is kind of, like I said, this is kind of an impromptu thing. It's a little different for us, where we're just hanging out doing something rather than, necessarily just having a show or producing something. We were filming some videos for those that just joined. We've been filming some videos today. Yeah, it's starting to heat up a little bit. I can feel some heat from it. So I decided to just live stream some behind the scenes of that and see if we can get watch time up. We got to get 4,000 hours of watch time to get this channel monetized, and that doesn't include shorts. And so it's a little disappointing when we're getting like 4,000 watch hours a day on shorts, but we can't get monetized because we don't do that on live streams or long form content. Tickle, yeah, Tickle's funny. I definitely recognize that name. So he is funny. I watched, what was it? They did the one where they were like going to different states, and they was some sort of special they just did, like a special series. That was kind of fun. He's gone to jail like, what, 15 times? Are you willing to sacrifice that much for your art? I always like, so here's the interesting thing. If they are filming it and putting it on TV, theoretically it's not supposed to be illegal. And so most of the time, like Discovery Channel or whatever channel something like that's on, so you're talking about like Street Outlaws, where they're street racing. They're not really street racing. Those guys have a blocked off street, like it's on the street, but they're like blocked off, they're renting the space, it's completely and totally legal, so that they, them and the producers of the show don't go to jail. So I'm curious with like moonshiners, I think all of the stuff they're doing is officially sanctioned and legal. Now that doesn't mean the guy's not doing something illegal on the side, which is what got him on the show. WWF of moonshiners? 15 times on one show alone? White Lincoln greater than White Lightning. Rob is killing me with the Lincoln. I'm struggling with the Lincoln. I really am. I want to buy it, but it's a little bit of a stretch, so I don't know if I should do it at this point. Right? Like, I got to dip into savings a bit to buy the Lincoln. And so I don't know. And it's not a white Lincoln. It's like a pastel yellow with black top, black vinyl, full black vinyl top and black interior. So what's everybody up to? It's 5:30. We mostly a different crowd than we started with at this point. Yeah, definitely getting some heat on it now. This will be fun. This could be a complete and total waste of a bottle of Old Tub, but I'm not upset about that. Workday just starting. What do you do? What's up? There's a 70K E.H. Taylor collection on Craigslist. Not for me, there's not. 3:30 in Cali, that's right. Yeah, like we're Central Time. I've got to be mindful of that. Like we've been going live at 7 o'clock, which is like 5 o'clock on the West Coast. I'm wondering if we're limiting our views by going live that early. Market for an arcade. So how does that work? How do you market for an arcade? Like you're just like, is this like a club promoter type of thing where you're like on the street handing out flyers? Like what? No joke. Are you doing their social media? Like what are you doing to market for an arcade? Don't stretch for the land boat. I won't. I mean, it's not a huge stretch, but it's a little bit of one. Like it's a little bit of. I was gonna sell one of my cars, and that kind of fell through, and I don't know if I really want to sell it at this point. And that would have given me the money to buy it. So I was gonna try to sell this car, and then the car broke, and some situations, and so it doesn't look like that sale's gonna go through at this point. So now I have to kind of rethink my options a little bit, but I want it bad. Social and retailer stuff in Australia, down under. Nice. How big of an arcade? Like if they've got a guy that's doing their marketing, must be a pretty good arcade. Here, there's like one arcade, and I don't know if they do much marketing. They're just the arcade. If you want to go, there's one arcade. You go to that. Oh look, we got drips. Can y'all see the? Wasn't quite 30 minutes, was it? Now I've got a little meter. It's not super accurate, but it's one of these like refractometers or whatever that we can measure the proof of this stuff with. So once it's done, but that is coming out super clear. Lord have mercy. I like the triple mash. Yeah, the triple mash is pretty good. If you like Jack Daniel's stuff, it's really good. So this live stream's a little weird. This is a little impromptu stream. I was filming some content and I was doing this test for some future content. So we filmed 3 or 4 videos. We started at like 3 o'clock. We filmed a few videos and just streamed a little behind the scenes while we were doing it. And right now we have put a bottle of Old Tub in this air still, and we're just gonna see what happens. Like I bought this over a year ago and I've never used it. We literally just took it out of the box for this. And so we just threw some Old Tub in and plugged it up. We didn't read instructions. We don't know what's going on, but it's just now starting to drip. And then I took this and I put a couple of drops of limestone water on it just to kind of see if it opens up a little bit. But as far as Jack Daniels go, I really like this particular bottle. An old scrambler, but I also want to keep my wife happy. Part of my problem too, my friend. Part of my problem too. Is that a water distiller? Oh no, this is specifically made for like making your own alcohol. So if you want to make your own vodka or something like that, you can make a mash. You can put it in here. Now we poured a bottle of whiskey in here, so we already have whiskey. And what we're trying to do is extract the flavor from the whiskey and see what that's like. So we're going to try a little of this, what's left in here, the concentrate, and we're going to try a little of this alcohol here and see what that's like as well. And we're just trying to do some really dumb experiments. That's what it boils down to. I've got some fun ideas for this. So what I wanted to do, what my idea was, is taking a bottle of Eagle Rare, distilling it, and then separating the alcohol from the flavor, and then trying to make it a higher proof. So then we'll take all of the alcohol and mix it with another bottle of Eagle Rare and some of the flavor, and seeing if we can't make like 107 proof Eagle Rare. It probably wouldn't be as good, but what if it turned out better? Like I don't know. It may turn out great, and then maybe taking it to some of the other bourbon YouTubers and getting their review on it blind, and seeing if they turn out to like my concoction that I made. Like I don't know. We just play around and have a good time if this actually works. I don't know if it will. So when we don't know if something will work, we just do it and see what happens. I don't think you have to get rid of the heads and tails. So with like moonshine, when you're doing a mash, that mash is going to have all sorts of different alcohols in there you don't really need. So with this one, I don't know for sure, but like this is already a good alcohol. Like this is already bottled to They've already cut the heads and tails. So my assumption at this point is that you don't really need to do that because all of that stuff's already gone in the bottle, right? Like we're just distilling out the good stuff. We don't have the bad stuff from the mash that we would need to cut. So I'm not, like, we would probably want to, like, realistically, if we were trying to really get the most proof, we would probably want to take it because the early stuff is not as high proof and the late stuff is not as high proof and the really high proof stuff is going to be in the middle. So if we wanted to like just get the highest proof stuff, we would probably want to cut for that reason, not to cut out the bad things. But at this point, we don't care. Hey, if you like dumb experiments, man, continue to hang out because we got a bunch of them. Fun fact, when laying in bed, I don't turn the bedside light on when looking directly at what? Don't turn the bedside light on when looking directly at the bowl. Okay, so don't turn a light on when looking at the bowl. That is pretty solid advice there, country boy. Jesse from the Still It YouTube channel did a similar type of experiment using regular wild turkey to try to make Wild Turkey 101. Well, doggone it, Mr. Lopez, I thought this was an original idea and now you just ruined it. But I'll have to check that out. That sounds like pretty fun stuff. Now it's going to seem like I completely copied somebody, but I've never heard of this channel, so I don't know. That's what sucked. I've had so many ideas we've jotted down, and then I start looking and somebody else has done it, which is why we put out tasting notes in a hurry. Like I've been sitting on that tasting notes idea for like a year, and I was like, somebody's going to do this, and we're just going to look like a copycat. So we need to start just mixing people's tasting notes. And we had a bunch of experiments like this, and it's like other folks have done them. So we're going to continue forward with a lot of them anyway, even though they may seem derivative. They were original ideas. They just happen to not be original ideas. Never seen this done before in my life. It's cool, man. It's good to know because I want to see how his turned out. Did he? Was it better? Was it worse? Now, I assume he distilled the alcohol out and then just put the alcohol in Wild Turkey to make it 101 proof and see what happens. We're going to take the flavor stuff that's left and try some stuff with that as well. The tasting notes is pretty funny. Yeah, well, the one we did today was awful. Lord, we filmed one today. If you were here earlier, it was bad. And it's funny, we get a lot of, I had some guy comment yesterday, it's like, this is horrible. If you're trying to pursue a career in spirits, this is not educational at all. I will never watch another one of your videos. Like literally, and I'm like, nobody claimed this was educational, man. Lighten up a little bit. Lord have mercy. Some folks take this stuff way too serious. Like, if you're really serious about whiskey, I got nothing to offer you because you probably already know more than I do. I don't claim to know anything. Like, we're just having a good time. I just want to have some fun and experiment with some stupid stuff. F that guy. That's right. That's why I just replied to him. I was like, dude, you're way too serious. You're not going to like my content anyway, so it's better that you don't watch it. I can't believe this is working. I guess it was easy. I didn't read any instructions. I just poured some crap in and plugged it up, and whiskey came out. Perfectly clear whiskey. I gotta try this though. I'm gonna get a clean glass for this here. Our Bourbon Junkies aged in ore glass here. So I don't know if y'all see that. It's perfectly clear. Almost no smell. A little bit of an odd smell to it. Like it's hard to place that. That's actually pretty good. Like we might be able to do something with that. So it's really sweet. It has a little bit of that like, oh, it's, how do I describe that? It's sweet. I've got just a little bit of flavor, a little bit of the original bourbon left. Not much, but it's almost like sugar water. I'm insanely curious as to what's left over. Is this ruined? Is the stuff that's left in here useful for experiments? Because if this turns out useful, if the heat has not ruined this, then we are going to be able to do all sorts of dumb things with it. And that excites me very much. I need some more. What's going on, Tootsie? Thanks for joining. We're just hanging out, doing dumb things. Right now, we put a bottle of bourbon, old tub, bonded, 100 proof whiskey in this air still, and we're seeing what comes out of it. Make it old fashioned with this, that might actually work. I don't know. I don't know if I want to waste 2 ounces. We'll see how much comes out of it. We might do that. Do the dumb things. That's all we do is dumb things. Oh, if you use that as a simple in an old fashioned, because you would be doubling it. That's got to be high proof. Let me get did I have it in here? Did I bring it in here? Let me see if I can find the thing that measures proof. So I've got this thing. And so this is a really dumb thing too. What it basically does is you put whatever you're measuring on this, and it just kind of refracts the light and tells you what the proof is of the thing. So you look right into a light after putting some stuff on there, and it tells you the proof. And it's off the meter. This is 80% alcohol or more. So this is 160 proof plus. If that's right. I think that's percentage. I don't think that's proof. Yeah, that's over 80% alcohol that's coming out of there. If that's right. I'm not a scientist. I just play one on YouTube. Oh, speaking of scientists, dude, so for these videos, I went all out. I went a little crazy. I got big gloves and safety glasses. And I got a lab coat, and we're gonna have the Brewzle logo put on my hard hats. For our science experiments, we're gonna get a little crazy with the videos. But that says it's more than more than 80 proof or 80%. So more than 160 proof. Sorry, if I may have said 180 proof. More than 160 proof is what that said. And it's a little hot, but it doesn't drink that hot. So I don't know if I trust it. Oh, let's see. We actually have a bar tour, so I've torn out a wall, and I will do the full bar tour video after I tear out the wall. I'll go over there and grab the camera in a second and kind of show you what's going on in the bar here. Let me finish catching up on the comments. Hold my booze. Watch. Exactly. My husband and bestie love dumb experiments. Nice. Make some bitters? How do you make bitters? I don't even know how to make bitters. It's not a thing I've ever done. Almost every bottle on my bar is a whiskey or a whiskey variety, right? So Tennessee whiskey, which technically or it's a bourbon or a bourbon variety, I should say. So Tennessee whiskey is not a bourbon, but realistically it is. So it's a rye or something like that. So not much scotch. I have one official scotch. I just bought an Irish whiskey, and I've got a couple of single malts. But let me grab this and kind of show y'all the bar a little bit. But like I said, it's under construction because I've torn out this whole wall over here. So, and it's a mess. I've got sheetrock dust everywhere. I'm gonna unplug this iPad. So behind me is a whole atrium situation, but I've got these sound blankets up because it sounds horrible. So I'll give y'all a little sneak peek of the atrium. But we put these sound blankets up because it sounds horrible when we're recording videos. So I built the bar, I had the bar custom made. You can see some of the equipment we're using. And I had this cool Broy Hill style 70s design put into it and put the lights behind it. And the bar starts over there. And I've got a little rail. You can see the wood rail I've had made, but I've got to have lights put in those. I got to do that this weekend. And then over here, there's like a pantry that runs the whole length behind it that I could store more bottles and stuff. And then over here, I have torn out and I've extended this wall. It's going to go out to there so I can mount a 55-inch TV on that wall for football season. And on the other side of this is a little room where I can put a refrigerator and different things to store the stuff I need to create mixed drinks and different stuff when folks come over. So that's pretty much the bar. And there's a whole like brass foot rail down there and stuff that y'all may or may not have saw. Like it's a proper bar. And we have really nice, cool bar stools. It's a mess right now though. Like it is a crazy hot mess. My local distiller makes their own bitters. That sounds like fun. I've never done it. The stuff left over in the still most likely going to be bitter, so we could just use that. That makes sense, Mr. Lopez. Yeah, Tootsie, I'm in the same. We bought this house in 2020. I think it was January 21. Yeah, January 21, and it was like this whole area right here where this bar was. That was just closets. There were four closets down here. And so we tore out those closets and made this bar. And then I put a wall there, but I didn't like it. And so we've torn it out. I tore it out this weekend and framed all of that in. And I'm waiting on electricians to come put me some plugs and move some switches. They came today to quote it, and then I'll finish framing that out and do all the drywall. But we've been waiting. I've had this on the list for months to do, and we tried hiring people to do it, and they never showed up. And so we've tried 2 or 3 people to do this work, and they never did it. And I was like, I'll just do it. Like I'm capable of doing the work, I just don't have the time. So it's just going to take me a while. I'll piddle through this over the next month and get this done, and then start, trying to get the house ready for football season. Like we built this, or we didn't build it. We bought this house and redid it to entertain. Like we like having folks over. That's why I built a big bar, at least part of it. Content's the other. But we like having folks over for football season. At our last house, 3 houses ago, it was nothing for us to have over 50 people for a football game to come over and watch it and hang out. And this house is even more set up for entertaining than that. So we could easily have 100 people here at this house and you wouldn't even really notice it. And so we're trying to get it to that condition, but it's just next season. Next football season, hopefully it'll be in that condition. It's mainly aromatics. Yeah, I just don't know what to do. I'm obsessed. It reminds me of some photos I have of my grandfather bartending. All right. You're obsessed with what? Just subscribe to Patreon, Kyle. Welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. It's still just, it boggles my mind that folks would support us like that. So it's great. Nick, I appreciate you hanging out, man. I don't know if you've already gone, but thank you. Hurricane Laura directly hit us. We had to gut most of the house. We're out of pocket for it. Oh, that sucks. I hate to hear that, Tootsie. Hopefully he's capable in doing a good job on it. So 22 of us here. So that's, I'll bring +3. Hey, well, here's the thing. And I don't mind having folks over. Like literally, all these bottles are meant to be drank. We bring folks over, and if you're really into bourbon, we'll get into the top shelf. Most of the people we have over, we stick to the middle and bottom shelves. If you're not super into it, there's a ton of really good stuff on the middle and bottom shelves. But if you know what's on the top shelf, we'll drink it. But I've just got to know folks are not psychopaths first. So we gotta build the relationship a little bit. If we continue to hang out and if you create content, that's a little easier. That's a little faster way for me to tell folks are not nuts. But meeting folks on the internet is just a good recipe for finding some crazy folks. And I'm not saying y'all are crazy folks. Everybody that seems to hang out here is pretty cool. So I'm just saying, my wife is a little, I'm like, just bring folks over. We'll find out if they're crazy when they get here. My wife's like, let's find out if they're crazy before they get here. The 70s, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of like the 60s look. Now this house was built in the 70s. So we're really going for that kind of mid-century modern 70s vibe. This house is very Frank Lloyd Wright-esque, right? It's got really long horizontal lines, wide eaves on the side of the house. Like it's very quintessential plainsman style architecture. And so when we've done all of the customizations to the house, we've kind of stayed true to that 60s vibe. Like I love 60s and 70s cars. I love like just that whole vibe. So that's what we've tried to stay true to. Yeah, it's aesthetic. I got what you were saying, Tootsie. Sometimes doing dumb shit gets you through the day. Hey, dumb shit's fun. Like doing normal stuff is really boring. Thank you, Nicholas. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming and joining in this live stream. He's good with the hands. Nice. I'm pretty good with this stuff. Like the drywall over there, I'm good with drywall. Like honestly, the drywall work I've done in this house is better than the drywall professional we hired. But it just takes me twice as long as somebody that knows what they're doing. That's the big thing. And so the projects move really slow, but it's faster than waiting for months for somebody that never shows up, for sure. Our first contractor was arrested for insurance fraud, and the second tried to scam us out of $12K. We are very much in the same boat. We haven't had somebody but we had the tile added here, and our tile contractor said it would take 2 weeks to get here, and they would be in and out in a week, and they would tile the whole house, like tile downstairs. Most of the upstairs is hardwood, but the kitchen. So they were going to put in countertops in the kitchen, tile the kitchen, and then come downstairs and tile all of downstairs, which is a big downstairs. But they said they'd be done in 3 weeks. Well, it took them 5 or 6 weeks to get here, and it took them 4 months to finish. 4 months to finish. And that, like, they weren't here working the whole time, but they were just come and go, and it's like, and the problem is we could not come downstairs at all. So all other projects, especially if it went downstairs or in the kitchen, had to stop, which was our main focus. So we literally had to just wait for them to finish and cancel all of the work. So we had nothing moving for 4 months. It's just dumb. No psychos is a very good rule, Nicholas. Very good rules. We're all crazy. Well, I mean, I'm a little crazy, so I get it. I know Country Boy's crazy. I know. Hey, if y'all don't know, Country Boy's crazy. He's also creating a little video. We need to support him. What if I pinky promise? You might have to provide a little more evidence than that, my friend. 77 vet. Oh, nice. I've got a 63 Impala. I love the lines of 60 cars. I'm trying very hard to buy a 70 Lincoln Continental right now, but I just don't know if it's going to work out. Like the guy's driving a hard bargain, and the funds are just kind of hard to come by. So somebody's message got held for review. Oh, I'm gonna hit show on that. Sorry about that. Alex, I don't know what. Okay, so yeah, Tootsie's got dumb shit helps you recover from the stressful. Correct. Yes. Didn't do it. Yeah, I'm not gonna do roof. I won't build anything from scratch. Like I'll frame in some walls. These are not structural walls. I'll do stuff like that. I'm not gonna do electrical. I'll swap outlets, but like we got to rewire the main panel. We got to bring in a new line. I'm not doing any of that crap. If it's going to burn the house down, I try to stay away from it. This is about as close as I'm going to get trying to burn the house down. Cheers, Alex, man. Appreciate you hanging out. My tractor's getting fixed, was in the shop for 3 years, and all they did was put in something backwards. Dude, I got an Impala right now that's been in the shop for like 12 years. No joke. It's been restored. It's been in 3 different shops for like 12 years. Luckily, I've got other cars, and I've just been bored and busy and not worried about it, but where I worked as a teen, dude had 6 of them, 77 vets. Like, why do you need 6 though? What are you gonna do with 6? I can't, like I've got 2 or 3 old cars right now. I can't drive them all. I run out of time. Mr. Lopez, yes, hang out, be cool. If you can make it here into Opelika, you can come on. As long as you're only borderline. Tongue and groove in our kitchen ceiling. That's cool. I thought about doing something like that here in the bar. I think I'm going to cut it for budget. I'm going to end up, like I don't like the color of the bar. So when this wall gets finished, all this gray back here gets painted like an emerald green. And I've been thinking of putting like a copper ceiling or a tongue and groove ceiling or something here in the bar to add a little pizzazz. But tongue and groove, like it's nice, but it's not like super like modern, kind of mid-century modern 60s vibe. So I don't know. I've been debating what to do in here. Use them for parts. Oh, well, that makes sense. I've got a Volkswagen right now, Corrado, that I've been working on for a couple of years, few years, and it's like that. Like you got to have 3 Corrados to keep one running. Like because nobody makes parts, and you're gonna always need them because it's always breaking. I don't know how much alcohol we're actually going to get out of this. As high a proof as it is, that old tub is 100 proof, and this stuff is coming out over 160 proof, according to our meter or refractometer. So I would assume that it's going to be less than half what was in the bottle, or maybe close to that, because it's not going to get all the alcohol out. It's going to get most of it out, but not all of it out. So I'm not real sure. Let's see what it's dropping right now. See if this is any better. But it's like y'all can see it, right? Like I mean, it's got measurements on the side, but I can't read them. Right, so we are close. What is that? 500 milliliters? Is that right? Milliliters. So that bottle was 750 milliliters. And so what is each one of those things? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're about to be 400 milliliters? Is that right? Is that right? I wouldn't have expected 400 milliliters out of a 700 milliliter bottle, 750 milliliter bottle. But it's got to be close to the end. Like, it's got to be about done. This right here is an aged and Ore. So AGED and ORE. I YOLO'd up to Michigan this past weekend to the Bourbon Junkies. I don't know if y'all follow the Bourbon Junkies, but they do really awesome bourbon reviews on YouTube here. They were having a little get together called Pours in the Park. And so I went up there, and this was their glass that came with like your admission ticket. It's got their logo and stuff on. I know y'all can't see it from there, but these are really nice. I like Glencairns, but this has just a nice hefty weight to it. Glen, I like the little knob on bottom because I can stick my pinky out and seem all fancy. This one you can't do that, but with that it's got that little ridge that kind of fits in between your fingers, and it's got a nice weight to it. This is a really nice glass. A quarter of the volume? It's just like, if that measurement is right, we're over 400, or we're about to pass 400 milliliters. And that's a 750 milliliter bottle. Like, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. Does not seem right. But what's coming out is pretty dang tasty. Pretty dang tasty. Oh man, past 6 o'clock. It's been a long day. We've been streaming for 3 hours now. It's good stuff. We're down to 7 folks though. We ran everybody off apparently. Ran everybody off. So who's still here? What 7 folks have we got still watching this nonsense? Uh, 100 proof. So what we put in there is 100 proof. Old tub, bottle and bond, unfiltered. And so this is made by Jim Beam, and it's basically, it's 100 proof. It's bonded, so it's bottle and bond, so it's got to be 100 proof. I don't see the proof. I'm sure it's like really, really small print on there, but it's bottle and bond, so it's 100 proof. So Jake, right now we are distilling down a old tub, and we are trying to separate the flavors from the actual whiskey. And we're going to see what comes out of it. So this is a video idea I had, actually a series of videos, and this is a test. So we're just running a test to see what comes out of it. Now this whiskey we've been getting, when we tested it earlier, was over 160 proof. And so we were taking 160 proof out of that 100 proof old tub. And when that quits dripping, like, I don't know, does it ever quit dripping? Or does it just keep distilling water out of it and watering our stuff down? Like, we maybe watered it down at this point. We may need to do a little test of what's coming out of here to make sure it's not water at this point. Don't really know. So let's get that measuring device back out. Here's where we put it over here. And again, I don't know much about this guy right here, but you just kind of I'm gonna make sure we dry it off from what we were doing earlier. You drop a little whiskey on there, and you look at the light. Okay, so the proof is coming down, but this says it's right at 180% alcohol is what it says. So what we've got here is 80% alcohol. It doesn't taste like it. Like it tastes really good. Like it's a really smooth 80% alcohol. So I don't know how accurate something like this is. Like this was not an expensive tool, but it doesn't feel like it's got that kind of heat to it. What's going on, Drums and Drams, man? We're just hanging out, running experiments. We've been filming content, and we decided to just do an impromptu live stream, kind of a behind the scenes while we were filming some stuff. We finished filming, and I'm running an experiment for a future video. So we are trying to take old tub and separate the old tub from the alcohol and see what happens. What's your favorite piece for vibraphone? No idea. Yeah, man, it was great. The Bourbon Junkies thing, if y'all ever get a chance, like these in-person meetups, and there's a bunch of them, like pick whatever one's close to you, accessible to you. These in-person meetups are a game changer, really. Like just going and hanging out with other folks that are kind of into the same thing, really good time. Taste the drips. This is an air still. So this is what's called an air still. Just Google air still, and this is the guy that will come up. This is made by Still Spirits. And so it's just like literally you just pour shit in it, you plug it up, and alcohol comes out of it. Like that's pretty much it. So you can make your own mash. If you wanted to make your own bourbon, you could. Like I don't know what proof, like this is coming out pretty high proof. So it might be too hot technically for a bourbon. But you could definitely make your own vodka or whatever. Unusual and awkward, yeah. So what will be left in the metal canister? That is the question, Alex. That is the question. I don't know. I assume all the flavor, right? Like all the stuff that the barrel added to the whiskey for setting in there for like a bottle and bond's going to be in there for 4 years. So whatever that barrel added should be left. Now the question becomes, did it get ruined by getting heated up like that? I don't know. So once this quits dripping, like it's got to quit dripping. Like Lord have mercy, we're approaching 500 milliliters. So there's got to be, like at this point, we might want to just call it and see what's left in there. So let's do that. Let's let this guy cool down for a minute, and then we'll pop that loose and taste what's in here. So we've got a little shy of 500 milliliters, and that was a 750 milliliter bottle. And so we took most of the liquid out of it. And the last drippings there, the last things we tested was roughly 80% alcohol, so really high proof. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like it just, the math doesn't, like I don't know if our measuring device is off. Don't really care. I don't really care. It's fun. If we're wrong on numbers, we're not afraid to be wrong. We're not afraid to just say shit that's not right. Still seeing the things. The land of the typing. How long has it been going? I don't even know. Probably 30, 35 minutes or so. When I boiled Diet Coke. Diet Coke doesn't have any alcohol in it, so there's not really a lot we can get from that. And whatever's left in here is going to be warm, so that's probably going to be a problem. How hot is this thing? Oh, it's warm. Yeah, it's very warm. Very hot. Very, very hot. How do I get that out? It's been boiling. I don't have a ladle or anything. How about we just... That does not look good. Lord, it looks like mud. You'll see the mud. Looks like mud. that sucks. So we've got the alcohol, which is actually really good. Like this is really good alcohol, super sweet and sugary, like you would expect from a bourbon. This is not useful. Tastes like rust. Tastes like rust. So what if we took the alcohol and we just added it to Old Tub? That sucks because I was really hoping to get something. Maybe if it cools, we'll let it cool. We'll see what's up. Let's let it cool down. But it just tastes like rust. So let's take a little Old Tub. We got some Old Tub in our decanter here. And then we can add a little of this guy here. Just proof it up a bit, right? I mean, just that little bit probably proofs it up to 110, 120 proof. So positive the glass was going to shatter, that'd have been funny. Put back in the bottle and see how far it comes from the top. That's a good call. We poured a little of this out. I mean, if this was it's not a 1 liter, is it? Because that's pretty much half. It's not a 1 liter bottle. 100 proof. Doesn't say. 50% alcohol, 100 proof bottle, unfiltered. $750 milliliters. So I would say it's a lot of alcohol. It's a lot of alcohol, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's not 500 milliliters. So I don't know if our measurement's kind of nuts here. Or if we were looking, if I read this wrong. I'm pretty sure that says 500 milliliters right there. So I feel like now we need to pour this crap back in there and see if it tastes like Old Tub. We proofed up our Old Tub. Honestly, that's pretty smooth. Like, that's not bad at all. The alcohol is most definitely usable in something, in some sort of experiment. Like, we could definitely take that and add that to an Eagle Rare and proof it up a bit. Most definitely. Now, you lose a little bit of the other flavors. Like, it enhances the, like, sweet sugar alcohol, but you lose a little bit of the depth of the other flavors. But if you poured that in a pour, nobody would notice. Like, that's pretty good. It's just the stuff that's in there is no bueno. Now it's hot, but like it's just mudded. Like it destroyed this to produce this. Like it destroyed it. So there's no using this for anything that you want to taste good. It's just not gonna happen. Looks like what come out of your blender. Yeah. If you compared them combined to the original. So that looks like half. So theoretically, you would compare this half and half, right? Like you would mix them half and half is probably what you would do. So if you were doing that, we would put, let's just say, we're gonna pour a 2-ounce pour here, right? So we're gonna do an ounce of this. And then roughly an ounce of this. Now it's hot, so that so the hotness is going to kill it a little bit, but then let's pour some old tub that we have in our decanter here. And y'all see there's not a ton of color difference. This one's a little darker, a little more cloudy, I guess you would say. So I don't know how much darker it is. But the light doesn't go through as much because it's cloudy. Now it's super warm. Like this is very, very warm. But what does it taste like? Okay, so a little sharp bitterness to it. But honestly, if I gave you that, you would say it was a whiskey. You might not love it, but you would say it's a whiskey. You would say, okay, that's a bourbon. And so once it cools down, I'm gonna go throw this in the freezer. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna throw this in the freezer. All right, so that guy's in the freezer chilling. We'll let that chill for a few minutes, see if it brings it down to temperature and see what we think about it, because it wasn't terrible. It had kind of a, like it's not as good as that, not even close to as good as that. But once it's cool, who knows? Let's see. 2/3 full if it's 7 minutes. Oh, yeah, exactly, and it wasn't that. So our measuring device is really dumb. Like that thing's dumb. Nice cigar. I wish you could do this to any, that's what I want to do though. I want to take this and then I want to measure it and add it to Old Tub and see if we can bring it to 110 proof, see what happens to it, right? And I was hoping to add a little flavor to it and see what happens. So take Old Tub and just double the flavor, see what happens. But that stuff's about ruined. I gotta run to the restroom. Give me just couple of minutes, I'll be right back. Alexa, play String Beats by Harris Heller on Spotify.
I couldn't find String Beats by Harris Heller, but here is other music by Harris Heller. Sorry, I couldn't find any songs.
Alexa can't find anything. Alexa, play String Beats by Harris Heller on Spotify.
This is String Beats by Harris Heller from Spotify. All right. Luckily the restroom is really, really close. Did Alexa, I thought she was playing music for y'all. Alexa, volume up.
So we've got Red Nexa here, but she's not playing anything. So we got the natural light wrapped. Alexa, play Stream Beats by Harris Heller on Spotify. We're trying to play copyright free stuff
Stream Beats
for
by Harris
YouTube.
Heller from Spotify.
We normally play, like, we'll just play anything on TikTok, but YouTube. Alexa, volume 5. She's not playing anything. She acting a fool. Alexa, stop. She's acting a fool today. All right, let me catch up with the chat. Tax deduction. Everything's a tax deduction, man. Everything. Unscripted tangents are the best. Yes. So your Alexa played it. I apologize. I don't know what's up. I don't know if she's connected to a speaker, if she's playing upstairs or what. I have no idea what's going on. That'll make the words come easier. Like it's not playing at all. Like, I don't know what's up. I don't know what's going on with Alexa today. Nothing wrong with the old tub. This was fun. I just hate that this is like garbage though. Like I had such high hopes for things we could do with this, and it appears to be garbage. And that's a little frustrating, honestly, because all of the crazy ideas I had for this are gone. Now this, good stuff. So we might actually be able to do some fun things with that. Might be able to do some fun stuff. So what's everybody sipping on this evening? I mean, it's 6:30 here now. It's been a long day. We've been going since 3 o'clock, so a 3.5 hour stream. Not bad. Trying to get that watch time up. And now we got half a bottle of Old Tub that I don't know what to do with. What would you do with half a bottle of the alcohol from Old Tub? Give me some ideas. Let me know. We're playing with fire. That's all we do is play with fire. We just go. We just go. All gas, no brakes. All right, we're gonna give this a few minutes to see if this thing comes out of the freezer and what it tastes like, and then we're gonna call this stream. I'm gonna go find some dinner. I'm gonna hang out, and I'm going to watch the Bourbon Junkies tonight. So that's gonna be a fun time. 14 folks. I appreciate everybody hanging out. You know, we're gonna do a more polished stream on Wednesdays. I think that's when we're gonna start doing our regular stream. This one again was a little impromptu, just kind of behind the scenes while we recorded some stuff. Let me know if you like these types of streams where we're just goofing off, hanging out. Like if I'm gonna do dumb things, I might as well do dumb things and hang out with y'all while I'm doing them, right? I don't know, some folks are really serious and they're like, if you're not putting on a show and you're not doing a bunch of like over the top stuff, then they don't want to watch, which is cool. Buy some oat chips. I got them. I got this. Like I bought some different, I've got a barrel. I'm soaking it in water right now, getting it ready. So I have a barrel and I have some different like spirals you drop in there. I've got a couple of different ones of those. So we're doing those experiments here pretty soon. So we could take, instead of like I was thinking about taking a whiskey that already existed. So like a Wild Turkey or Wild Turkey 101, Four Roses. Somebody mentioned that earlier. That would be really good. And adding those to it and just seeing how they do. So we're gonna try that. Now we might try that and proof it up a little bit. So we might take a Four Roses, distill the alcohol out, proof it up a little bit, then throw it over oak and see what happens. So that might be the experiment. Like I was really hoping to add more of the flavor from the still itself, but the flavor is just garbage. So we might just add the alcohol to it to proof it up and then throw it over some oak for a little while. And then what I want to do is take it and send it to like a lot of bourbon reviewers and see if we can get any of them to say it's good. Like that's really just see if any of them, like try to get it where we think it's good enough to, I don't want to say trick them, like to good enough for one of them to say that it's good. That's what we're hoping for. Daniel, I appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, I'll see you in the junkie stream here in a little while. Well, we've been adding, so Whiskey Central, we've been adding about 700 subs a day, like 500, 600, 700 subs a day over the last few days. So realistically,
We were at 10K just a few days ago, like last week for sure. It is crazy. They're all shorts though, so like a lot of them don't show up here for lives. A lot of them don't watch the long form stuff, and we're debating whether, or at least I'm debating whether or not we should have done a shorts channel and a long form channel, or whether that's going to kind of screw us up on our long form video goals. But it's been fun, man. It's fun to have success, regardless of where that takes you. What about the? I haven't tried slow mo. Don't know anything about it. You could try nuclear aging and do a side. So what do you mean by nuclear aging? What is that? What is nuclear aging? Don't know. Like I said, we've got. So what have we got? I think they're over here somewhere. So I've got a barrel, and I bought I had a larger barrel, and my larger barrel cracked because I let it dry out. So I'll go grab the barrel. So we've got the barrel to show y'all what we've got. I've got a smaller one. So the smaller the barrel, the faster it ages. And that can be good and bad. So this one is full of water right now, like it is. I'm just trying to make sure that it doesn't leak, because my last one leaked all over the place. I didn't realize it had cracked and dried out. So I bought this little guy, and I've got a stand for it, but it's in there. So I got this little guy here. To put whiskey in. So we've got this little guy, and then I got like these infusion sticks here, and then we got this guy which has like a stopper and an infusion stick, and you just pour it right through the infusion and the stopper. So we're going to try all of these rapidly aging some stuff, but I don't think they're going to be really good. Like the stuff I've done in small barrels like this, they add oakiness. And so if you just want oakiness, this is great for that. But what you want is complexity and maturity and all the things that just come with time. And you can't get that rapidly aging. So you need a big barrel, and you need for it to sit there and soak into the barrel and extract from the barrel over years. And this guy is going to do a similar aging in like a month. I don't know, there's a calculator that tells you like how much oaky flavor this adds compared to like a 53-gallon drum that they might use at a big distillery. It's super fast, and it's just oak for oak's sake. It's not maturity, right? And so that doesn't make it super great, it just makes it super oaky. So we've got to find that balance of how much oakiness we add to what we're trying to do. But we're just trying to find a bourbon that we can, like I said, I don't want to say trick, but we just want to play, we want to do experiments to try to find how to improve something. Just find something, improve, like take a whiskey that other folks say is okay, and how can we make it exceptional and get a little validation by having some bourbon reviewer tell us it's good. But we've got to keep honing our craft to get it good before we send it to anybody, because we don't get a lot of chances. Once they realize we're trying to fool them, they're gonna be onto our game, and they're never gonna say it's good, even if it is. Please strain. Please strain what? This? Oh yeah, of course. The things I do for viewers, I'm doing it for me. Y'all just happen to be along for the ride. Using hot and cold cycling. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's what you're talking about. Like taking this, throwing it in the freezer and bringing it out into the heat. So you use I would use a slightly larger barrel than this one. This one is designed, this is a 1 liter. So it's designed to hold pretty much 1 bottle. But you throw it in the freezer, you throw it in the heat, and you just kind of, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Do they have anything that could give a toasted taste? Sure. Like I could get this barrel in a toasted finish to toast it for sure. Oh, you talking about the video we were filming? Like Tootsie, are you way behind? Tootsie must be behind. Tootsie must be way behind. Tootsie must be watching us filming the video like way earlier. Somebody let Tootsie know in the chat that she's way behind. For example, you're using your microwave to heat your spirits to 160 degrees with oak in it, and then yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah, Titsy's like, you put an inch of cigar. I was like, Titsy's watching the beginning. She hasn't been joining the chat here lately. Hey, I appreciate you watching though, Titsy. It's all cool. Thanks for catching up though. So yeah, she was watching the beginning. Like that was 3 hours ago. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try to barrel age this. This has got water in it at this point. I don't know what bottle. I've got to go buy a bottle to start these experiments with. And so I think 4 Roses may be what we do. Like just a normal, cheap, like basic bare bones 4 Roses. We may try to do this. We may take it and distill it out and then up the proof to whatever, like 120 proof, drop it in the barrel, try to age it for a while, and then bring it out and see what it comes out as. Like that's what I'm thinking we're going to try to do right now. So we'll take like the super high proof version, add it to a normal bottle, age it in 1 liter, and then pour it into a bottle and see what, and try maybe different things. Like we may do that, try this, try the staves, try the, the 2 different staves and see what's up. Hey, there's no reason to be sorry, Tootsie. I just hate that you were kind of behind. So I've been responding to your comments, but you didn't see any of them because you were behind. Done in glass mason jars and an actual barrel. Like, so in a mason jar, you would just throw these spires in it, these little oak spires. So like we could literally just throw those. Like we got this. I've got 2 of these, so we may order some more. So like if we just took like basic, this is old tub whiskey. I don't know how to get this sucker open. I thought there was like a lip there for the plastic. It's way down here maybe. So you would take like this oak spire here, and you would just take this guy and do your own aging. All right, throw it in there. We'll come back to it, see what's up. We'll try this on a live stream in the future. So the few of y'all that are here will know what the heck's up when I break out the old tub spire. And let's see if it adds, like y'all see that's perfectly clear whiskey. Perfectly clear whiskey. Let's see what the spire does. I don't know. I mean, I've done some like oak staves in a moonshine before and it got super oaky. So I don't know how this is gonna do, but let's try it out. Should do bullet? You think, like, I don't know, like, I think what I'm trying to pick is a whiskey that's cheap, because this shit's expensive, and readily available, and that no one would say is great. And so that might be, like, is that bullet? Maybe bullet, which I think all bullet stuff's sourced from MGP at this point, I think. If I could be wrong, sourced from somewhere. So I'm thinking like 4 Roses, because that's just a, good, like, find a good 80 proof whiskey that we could distill and make a higher proof and then add a little aging to it to see what's up. So already pretty good, add a little to it and see if we can make it better. Does nuclear aging using UV light? Like, there's a lot of folks doing crazy stuff. So you've got like the Blackened by Willett, where they like blast Metallica music at it so it's vibrating all the time to try to rapidly age it. Like a lot of folks are doing a lot of experiments. Honestly, none of it's as good as just years in Kentucky. Like that Kentucky climate, years in the barrel, there's just no substitute for it right now. I hope we find one. We're not going to find one. I hope somebody finds one. Do you like this platform compared to TikTok? There are some things I like. First of all, we can do a really high quality live stream. We're not doing one today. Our normal live stream here is higher quality, and we've got a lot of room for expansion. TikTok won't give me like the ability to use my big cameras and stuff for live streaming. So we're just using an iPad today just because we were just doing an impromptu stream. But I like the fact that I have full production capabilities here on YouTube. I also like the fact that theoretically we could make revenue through YouTube, whereas it's really hard to make revenue through TikTok. So that's good. I've enjoyed TikTok. I enjoy the TikTok audience. But I just feel like if I'm going to try to make a little revenue from this so that I could dedicate more time and resources to it and we could do even dumber experiments, that YouTube is a place where that's much more possible right now than TikTok, unfortunately. Jack or Chim? I prefer Jack Daniels to Jim Beam. If you're just asking Jack or Jim. Oh, you talking about? Oh, well, you were talking about the. Were we filming the video where we were talking about the? No, that was Evan Williams versus the bottling or the bonded benchmark. That's right. I prefer Jack over Jim. I don't remember that in the live stream though. ECB Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. DIY Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, that would actually be kind of fun. So take Elijah Craig, like that, we might add that to the list. That's not what we're going to start with, but I like that idea. So take Elijah Craig and distill it and add the whiskey to it. The problem, like I said, the problem is we can't add flavors. So we're watering it down a little bit because the flavors are not good. And I'm going to go pull that out of the freezer in a second, just verify that adding that back doesn't come back to something that's worth trying. But that's just what sucks about it. The alcohol that comes out is actually really good, but the stuff that's left in here was just like rust. So I would like to add a little more flavor. Like I would take an Elijah Craig, distill it down to the alcohol, add it to a different bottle, but I would like to add a little of that flavor back as well. But you can't. Like the flavor's just not worth having. So don't know. We're gonna find out. Love Jack Daniels, don't know what about it, don't like Jim Beam. Top shelf bottle, I couldn't drink it. Some of this, like Old Tub is Jim Beam, it's fine. Some of the higher end Jim Beam stuff, so like a Baker's or a Booker's, which are made by Jim Beam, those are actually really good. Don't mind those at all. Hey, Country Boy, I appreciate you hanging out, man. I understand, no problem. Busy. I get you busy. Gotta get things done. How different is the clear to the original? Honestly, not that different. Not as different as you would think. So this is a really sweet, kind of mild bourbon. You lose a lot of those Jim Beam characteristics. So you lose the nuttiness and some of the flavors. This is just kind of sugar and alcohol. And it's a lot higher proof. So it's not that different. It's really not. It's different, but not that different. So some of those flavors carry over into this, but not as much of the characteristics of a really good whiskey. What's going on, Mr. Salty? Man, we've been shooting videos and running experiments. So right now we are at the tail end of our final experiment for the day. And what we've done is we have taken a bottle of Old Tub and we distilled all the alcohol, at least half the alcohol, half the bottle out of it. And we're trying to see if what's left in here when cooled down is worth doing anything with. It tastes like rust when it's warm. But we poured some in alcohol, we put it in the freezer, and right now we're just waiting on it to cool down so that we can give it a fair shake before we call this stream. This is my Bourbon Podcast. What's going on? I am doing well, man. This is just an impromptu stream. So for those that are just joining, seem to be a new crowd joining here. We were filming some videos today, and we've just started a Patreon, and so we're going to do a Patreon only stream, I think, eventually, when we're filming content. So we were filming today and I just decided our Patreon's not big enough. So let's just open it up to everybody and let's just do a live stream and hang out with folks while we're filming. So we filmed 4 or 5 videos. And then once that was done, we've just been playing around and experimenting with stuff that I'm going to use for future videos. So we were talking about some of the aging experiments and different things we've been doing. So just hanging out, having a good time. We're not doing much as far as putting on a show. We're just hanging out with folks. So grab a drink, let us know. As soon as that gets cold enough to try, I'm gonna probably call this stream and go get some dinner real quick and then join the Bourbon Junkies and hang out for a while. Alex, that's actually really interesting. I like that idea a lot, man. I'll have to keep that in mind. That's why we do this. So y'all got better ideas than I do. I'm terrible. I've got no ideas. Y'all got great ideas. I like it. Look at picking up new bourbon stuck between Baker's 7, Russell's 10, and Knob Creek single barrel. Okay, so which single, like how old is that single barrel? So the Baker's 7. Now I don't have the new bottle. All I've got is the old bottle. Now this is 107 proof, which is the perfect proof for me. This is the old bottle Baker's 7. And then you're looking at Russell's 10, which, where'd I put? I moved everything, so I can't find anything right now. So Russell's 10 is a bit of an oak bomb for me. Like it's very kind of bitter oak forward. And so it has a lot of that bitter oak on the front of the palate, which I don't love, but I do like the bottle. Like it's good, but the bitter oak on the front kind of throws me off a little bit. And then you're looking at a Knob Creek single barrel. So if you're talking about like I've got a store pick Knob Creek single barrel, and this guy here is like 14 years old. What is it? Yeah, 14-year-old Knob Creek single barrel right there. Which again, super oaky, wild turkey, which I like. Turkey takes age pretty well, but if I had to pick between these right now, if you put me on the spot, I would probably pick the Baker's just, for my flavor profile. Like this doesn't have a ton of oak on it, and these guys are going to be super oak bombs. Now, if you like the oak, these are probably going to go that route. Now, that single barrel turkey or single barrel Knob Creek, this guy, what's the proof on mine here? Yeah, so that's 120 proof, which is serious. This guy's what, 80 proof, something like that? 90 proof. So that guy's 90 proof. So 90 proof here versus 120 proof. I'm going to take this guy at 120 proof. But there's nothing wrong with the Russell's 10. So don't let me talk you out of it. Like Russell's 10's a good bottle. I like the bottle a lot. But if I'm like picking between those three, if I could get a single barrel like this one or this bottle right here, I'd probably choose those and then add the Russell's later. Like Russell's 10 is just always available. I have a hard time finding that Baker's, and I have a hard time finding those Knob Creek store picks. So that Russell's 10 is always available. I've been very busy today, and Taylor sounds delicious right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. So we're gonna have a pour of E.H. Taylor, and then we're going to test out the stuff we've got in the freezer right now, cooling down, and then we'll call this stream a day. 10 years, 120 proof. So if you're talking about Knob Creek 10 years, 120 proof, I would choose that over the Russell's 10 just because of availability, right? Like that's harder to come by. But again, that Baker's is really good, but you gotta like that Jim Beam profile. Eddie's back. What's going on, Eddie? Kind of listening like it's a podcast. It is kind of that thing, isn't it? I'm sorry. I should be putting on a better show. Hey, Country Boy, get your work done, man. How many bottles behind me? So between they start over here and they run to over there. I think roughly, and then with the bottom shelf, there's somewhere around 200-ish behind me right now. All open, and then I've got like kind of a stash in the back of some doubles and some backups and stuff that are not open. Only get one bottle every 1 to 2 months. That's probably, I don't drink a ton of whiskey. You would think I would for somebody that has this many bottles, but most of the time if I'm drinking, it's on camera like this. So realistically, we don't finish a lot unless I have people over and we just have a polishing party where we try to get rid of some bottles. So I probably only like empty a bottle every month or two myself. Now we'll drink a bunch of them down, and so we may empty none, and then over the course of a month we'll finish like 4 or 5 of them just because they're kind of getting low. So I'm in the same boat. I just buy a lot for content. So if we're we're just going to do a review of X, and so I have to have the bottle, and that bottle may sit back here for 3 years before we end up drinking it. So I get it. Coming from North Carolina, have you had Wild Turkey Rare Breed Cask Strength? Well, I've had Wild Turkey Rare Breed. I don't know if it's cask strength. So this is Rare Breed is always, what is it, 100 and... Let me read the proof instead of guessing. It's So it's 116.8 proof. Now, I don't know if this is cask strength or if they end up mixing it, but this bottle is exceptional. Like, this is a fantastic freaking bottle. This is one of the best bottles you can get in that 50 and under range. And sometimes it might be a little pricier where you are. I think it might be a little pricier where I am, depending on the store I go to. But Wild Turkey Rare Breed's a good time always, man. You can't, like, it's hard to beat that bottle for regular availability and deliciousness. Any word on the new car from Michigan? So Salty, I'm debating it. Like, he sent me, he did get in touch, and he played the whole, took it for a drive this weekend. I don't know if I want to get rid of it, but here's some interior pictures. And it's black leather interior. Doesn't have cruise control, which kind of sucks for like road trips. It does not have a tilt wheel, which kind of sucks for fat people. But I really want it. But then, like, we've just started spending a bunch of money on the house, and I have the money. I just have to determine if I want to spend it on that car. And so I'm just like, I'm going to have some conversations with my wife this evening, and we're going to make a final determination on it, hopefully this evening sometime. But I really want it. And I think it would be great for content, but at the same time, I'm trying to be a responsible adult and not do dumb, like we do dumb things with bourbon. I try not to do dumb things with savings accounts, you know? So trying to make that determination. How much like, I really want the car, like I really, really, really want it. And I was going to sell one of my other cars, but that's kind of fallen through, and I'm not going to, like, that's not going to work out. And so it's one of those things where I just gotta pull it out of savings, and I got to determine if I want to do that. But I really want it. I really want, like, if we were making money at bourbon content, unfortunately shorts, TikTok, YouTube shorts, there's just no money in it. If that were generating revenue, fine. But we just fired up Patreon. I think somebody said they just signed up, but we're making like $30 a month from Patreon, $35. If they signed up at $5, maybe $40 a month at Patreon. So that's, you know, that just doesn't make up the price of a Lincoln right now. But you know, if we can get that going, if we can get content going, we'll do lots of dumb things. But man, it's hard to find one of these that I really like, and I found one that's perfect. Other than the cruise control and the tilt wheel, it is absolutely perfect. 8-track player, 1970, which is the year I want. Coupe, like a 2-door, beautiful, beautiful car, and a fun color. It's just, you know, it's just coming off the money. So. Eddie says 200 bottles. Yeah, about 200, roughly. What's my most expensive bottle? It's the Pappy 15. We were drinking that earlier, actually, where we were trying a little test. We did a little tasting notes video. This is my most expensive bottle. This bottle, because it's got the red foil, if I had not have opened this thing goes for well over $3 grand. I think $3,600 when I filmed the video. Now, the market for bourbons has come down a little bit, so it might be a little less than that right now, but that was $3 grand or so. I've got several, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 that are in that $2 grand-ish range. William LaRue Weller, Eagle Rare 17, and probably, you know, 5 or so that are in that $1,000 range, and then a ton that are in that $500 to $1,000 range. Now, I didn't pay that for any of them, right? I didn't pay full secondary for any of them, so let's not get crazy. I ain't that kind of baller. Like, if you want to, like, if you do that, that's fine. If you're just drinking, if you're finishing 1 bottle a month and you want to pay that for them, have a good time. I'm going for like a whole variety, and so you gotta meter that a little bit more. Yeah, Alex, we were just talking about the Lincoln. Hopefully you caught that. What are you distilling? So we just distilled Old Tub into Old Tub. So we just got the Old Tub essence. Let me go get that out and see. We put some of the essence of Old Tub back in the Old Tub. We threw it in the freezer to cool it down because this stuff was hot. Let's see what it tastes like. Let me go see if it's cooled down. Let me grab it out of the freezer. We may have went too far with it. Like, this might be too cold now. Might be too cold. So you see it
frosting over right there. Now it's like super cold. What's your most, oh, I got that. Worst case if Michigan deal doesn't go through, you come to Scottsdale for Barrett Jackson and find a link in it. Yeah, there's just not a ton of them for sale like that I really like. So the color on that is off. Like that color is definitely muddy and dark. It's super cold now. So it has kind of a sharp oaky bitterness to it. It definitely changed the flavor. It's not as good as just normal Old Tub. So I really think what's in the still after you distill it is useless to us for experiments if we're trying to make something better. The alcohol that comes out is really good, but what's left in that still is garbage to us. And that's unfortunate. I was hoping we could do something with it, but it's not good. It just kind of ruins whatever's left, right? And it's got to heat it up. So it's understandable. Like, I'm not mad about it. It's just, I was hoping for more. So, bottle of Weller Foolproof for $500. That's crazy, man. Here in Alabama, you can get them once or twice a year. They'll drop. You just got to wait in line forever. Like, that's really what it boils down to. But like, waiting in line forever may or may not be better than just paying secondary prices for it. So it's like the whole whiskey game's kind of nuts. That's for sure. The whole whiskey game's nuts. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it. We've been going for almost 4 hours now, I think, or yeah, it's 7 o'clock. We started at 3. So I'm going to go get some dinner, watch the Bourbon Junkie stream, who goes live here in about an hour or so, I think. I appreciate everybody watching. Really helped us pump up the watch time. If you like these impromptu streams where we're just playing around, where we're filming videos and we're doing something, hit the like button for me. Let me know that you enjoy these, because we're debating. We're still trying to figure out how to engage with folks more often and better. Now, I know these are not the best production value or anything like that, but we're just playing. I've got to do these dumb experiments anyway, and I would rather hang out with y'all and do that. So if y'all enjoy these, let me know. If you're not subscribed, what the hell are you doing here? I don't really know. I don't know. You should subscribe. That would be a good idea. We could put, hey, I'm always for putting stuff in lawnmowers, you know? Appreciate everybody hanging out. And I'm going to go grab some dinner, and we'll, like I said, if y'all are not watching Bourbon Junkies, you should do that. And I will see y'all over there. Appreciate it. Actually, may have to stop this from over here on YouTube. I don't know. Let's see. Don't even know how to stop the stream.